cream. We'll have food. Come on out and put your name in for some of our drawings. We're giving away thousands and thousands of dollars away in prizes, and actually 2,000 square feet of hardy fiber cement siding.
That's a lot.
That is a lot of siding. So for someone lucky, they're going to have a really good prize to take on home. Bring out pictures of your projects. If you have something you're thinking about, take a picture, show it to us. We're happy to meet you and take a look at all our products with our sales representatives and manufacturers reps.
And the ice cream.
Your
dad always used to sell the ice cream. The array of products is awesome. 800-672-4348. This Friday and Saturday at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham.
I'm Dr. Miller, a dentist and a volunteer for Dental Lifeline Network. DLN asks dentists to volunteer to see just one patient per year who might not have access to proper oral health care. Join me in making a difference.
Go to willyouseeone.org to learn more.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor? Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the Weather Center. Sweater weather out there for us this afternoon and tomorrow, too. Nice sunshine, but our high temperature well below normal at 61. There's a freeze warning in effect for tonight. Lows will drop into the low to mid-30s, so if you have any tender plans, you want to make sure you cover those tonight. The sunshine returns tomorrow, but the cool air remains with a high of just 60 degrees.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 17 points to 37,948.
Uzan on the right-hand wing, stops with 7 seconds, gets it to Cryer, 6 seconds to go, 5 seconds to Sharp, top of the key, lost the dribble, he's got to pick it up, it's scooped up by Condon, Condon secures it, and Florida found a way! From 12 down to the school's third national championship in men's basketball, 65-63 the final, the Florida Gators are the national champions once again.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's what it sounded like last night as the Florida Gators became the men's basketball college national champions. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. If imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, Houston must absolutely love Duke. Final Four, what happened? What happened in the Final Four, in the semifinal? Well, Duke built up a double-digit second-half lead and then stopped doing what built up that lead, took their foot off the gas, got bullied a bit by their opponent, made some absolutely unexplainable errors, and they end up losing. So Houston, who, by the way, benefited from all that from Duke, goes to the national championship game, builds up a double-digit lead in the second half, suddenly stops doing the things that led them into that lead, makes a few unexplainable mistakes. Florida benefits from it. They end up being the national champion. This is March. It's crazy, right? Do you know what I kind of wish, just because it would make this next thing that I'm going to say more dramatic and it would hit home a little bit more? I wish Florida got down by 10 to Auburn rather than 9. They trailed by 9 in that game. I wish it would have just been one more point of deficit against Auburn for Florida, because then I could sit back and say this. The team that found themselves down double digits first in every game of the Final Four won the game. But instead I have to say this. The team to get down 9 points in every game in the Final Four won the game. Would have been nice, Florida, if you could have just fell behind by 10. Florida won. They proved fight and determination and all the things that coaches go on and on about still matters. You can be less talented. You can be less, bigger, faster, stronger. You can be a lot of things, but the one thing you need to win a national championship is a never say die attitude. Florida found themselves backs against the wall a bunch of times. They're the last team standing because they kept standing up. Now, the funny part is usually in the days after a national championship game, especially when none of the teams that I cover or we cover as a show is a part of that game, I immediately go to, all right, what can you learn, right? Sports are a copycat organization. If one football coach has a play that works, everybody's putting it in their offense by Tuesday, right? That's why everybody has run Philly special a billion times in the last 6-7 years, whatever it's been. So when a team wins, I immediately start thinking, all right, did they figure something out? Are they ahead of the curve on something? Is there a reason why they won? I don't think you can do that with Florida, because college basketball is changing. The national championship that Florida just won is unlike the national championship next year. This is the last game with COVID eligibility. Right? That was the last year. Granted, I guess medical red shirts and everything can still drag it on. But for the most part, you don't get 5 full years to play anymore. So, Elijah Martin, who made some very big plays for Florida in the run, he played 4 years at Florida Atlantic and already played in a Final Four for Florida Atlantic before coming to Florida. That's not going to happen anymore. So I don't know if NC State can be watching this and go, how did they build it? Let's build like them, because it's not going to exist. There's also this court ruling coming down that shortly will likely say teams can officially pay players, meaning schools straight from their pocketbooks can pay players. That's going to change everything. We'll talk about it later on, because that salary cap, the limit that schools can give, spreads across sports. So how much does basketball get, and what kind of talent does that buy? Florida was not one of the highest spenders in the country, by the way, this year. There were 0 5-star recruits in that game last night. Florida has 0 top 100 recruits out of high school on their roster. I'm not sure we'll see that again. As the money increases, by the way, that's like transfers make it so the high school recruiting doesn't matter as much because you don't have to go get a 5-star out of high school. You can get a 3-star who turned himself into a 5-star talent at Iona and then bring them to your school, and they can go be an All-American. I just described Walter Clayton Jr. for Florida. Like, you can do that. But all I know is the talent level to compete at the top level is only going to go up. Because the more teams have a bunch of money to spend, the more the transfer portal can condense the talent, take it from what used to be a bunch of different schools and kind of magnetize it, coagulate it onto one school. It's only going to get better. You're going to see teams talented like Duke was this year and not have the success that even Duke had this year, let alone not win a national championship, because there's going to be other teams as talented. Todd Golden, the coach for Florida, the youngest coach to win a national championship since the late, great Jim Valvano. Todd Golden was asked about that and spoke on the subject after the game.
I'm super proud, obviously, but I'm just a piece of this puzzle. I've been able to put together an incredible staff and recruit great student athletes over these last 3 years, and we've stayed the course all year and worked really hard. And, my best answer is I'm just really proud. I'm proud to be the head coach of Florida. I'm proud of the way our players performed, and I'm proud of the way our staff prepared our guys to become national champions.
I think the lesson there is patience. It's crazy because college basketball 39 years old head coach. That's what Todd Golden is. That doesn't seem like astronomically young to me. 39, it's not, it's not like he's Jim Boeheim, Coach K, Jim Larinaga, Leonard Hamilton at the end, but 39 doesn't seem like, oh my gosh, Sean McVay was an NFL coach in his early 30s, let alone having somebody coach college basketball in his late 30s. And the fact that he's the youngest since Jim Valvano is fascinating to me. And it probably shows, for example, John Shire is 37. He's 2 years younger than Todd Golden. Is it absolutely outlandish that he still has to learn how to coach maybe in the biggest games, that there's things he can pick up when if he would have won, it would have been tying 37 years old with Jimmy V as the youngest coach? Right? It's if John Shire wins next year, he's the youngest coach since Jimmy V. Like still.
So he has some time.
Like learning makes sense. It's if a freshman makes a mistake, we go, freshman's going to have to learn. Young coach makes a mistake, it's I don't know, can he win the big one? Todd Golden won it at 39, and that's wildly young. Kelvin Samson on the other side, he's been a head coach in college basketball since like 1981. Been to, 3 Final Fours. It was his first championship game, and he made a lot of the same mistakes John Shire made. Samson was asked after the game what he told his team after a loss like that. This is what Samson had to say.
I told our guys after the game to be disappointed you lost, but do not be disappointed in your effort. Defending Florida is difficult. They got a really, really good team. Coach Golden runs great schemes over there. We guarded them. We held that team to 65 points. Thought if we held Duke to under 70, we'd have a good chance to win. And I felt like if we held Florida under 70, we'd have a chance to win. Saturday, we found a way to win. Tonight, maybe not so much. 2 great teams, 2 tough teams. We lost by 2 points. They made one more play than we did tonight.
North Carolina native Kelvin Samson, by the way. Every coach loves the 2 more plays. I agree that they were 2 more plays away from winning, but it's not 2 out of 2. It's 2 out of 100 plays they could have made. Once you go up by double figures in the second half, it's a couple well-placed plays from that point forward. If you make any of them, you win the game.
Yeah, the way they were playing, just how good they are defensively, when they were up, double digits, I said this might as well be a 30-point lead.
I feel for the guy that made the 2 plays on the. I almost don't want to say his name because the turnover and then the fake shot, dribble, box out. Don't want to travel on the final possession. When you have the ball in your hands on the 2 last possessions of a 1-possession national championship game and you don't even get a shot off, those are going to haunt him for life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Cooper Flagg missed the shot for Duke. Guess what? Cooper Flagg's going to have a billion other high-profile shots, and I'm not saying that one he won't remember. He will, because college is different and it's special. But he's going to get to go write a completely different legacy. I'm not saying Houston's players won't make it to the NBA, but that's what they're going to be remembered for in a lot of ways, and that's a brutal way to live. Hopefully they go on and maybe hit an NBA championship-winning shot. Write the 30 for 30 now. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll take a break. When we come back, who will return for Duke? Right? They lost to Houston, and you just heard Kelvin Samson talk, we thought we could hold them to 70. Well, you didn't, and Duke still didn't win the game. And now already, what has it been? Just a couple of days. Next season has begun, and Duke's actually late to the starting line. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
If I could have made more in my last year in college than I did in my rookie year and still have that real-world freedom without real-world responsibility
what would you
by
do?
Staying in college, I'd be a dangerous man. I would have stayed in college, and I would have been a dangerous man.
That's a blessing for me. I didn't.
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Now in Sanford, the Chatley Marine Boat Show and Sale featuring Yamaha Wave Runners with giant indoor showrooms and an on-site test lake. Chatley's the choice for your next Yamaha Wave Runner. Find a large selection of Yamaha VX, FX, GP, and Wave Blaster models. With special financing, huge discounts, and immediate delivery available, now is the time to get your new Yamaha Wave Runner at the best price. Hurry on in to the Chatley Marine Boat Show and Sale, going on now in Sanford. ChatleyBoats.com.
The North Carolina Courage, the Triangle's Division I professional women's soccer team, is letting the dogs out at First Horizon Stadium in Cary. Watch the Courage play Bay FC on April 19th for Scooby-Doo and Pups at the Pitch, presented by Veterinary Emergency Group. Get match tickets at nccourage.com.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. 'Cause I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Come on in to Total Wine & More. Prices much lower than a grocery store. Wine, beer for a whole lot less. Walking down the aisles makes you stop and say, yes. From mixing cocktails to a friendly get-together, Total Wine has everything you need and more. With the lowest prices and best selection for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21. Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom. And that's what we offer at Loan Pronto, using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low fives, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Progressive understands that bond between you and your boat. But imagine if something happened to it. Without the boat, you're just Tina with too much boat knowledge. Sure, it's helpful on the water, but with no boat, you're someone who talks way too much about knots, and no one cares what a jib is anyway. Boat Tina could get away with it because she has a boat. So make sure your boat is insured. Get Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer, and then go back to being you. Tina, who owns a boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Now, your big ideas don't have to wait. They have everything they need to come to life because Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas. A technology that loves expanding your business and evolving your passion. We push what technology can do so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Inside Brown, out for flag, right side three, big time! Cooper delivers, and the lead back to 9!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Do you want the definition of a first-class problem? Right, my private jet takes too long to refuel. I'm late getting to my off-season to-do list because I was too busy with my team in the Final Four. Everybody else got to jump on me in the transfer portal and putting their next year's roster together because I had to go, stay alive to win a national championship much longer than they did.
Didn't Nick Saban always complain about that at Alabama? We're in a national championship. I'm behind now on everyone else I'm recruiting. Like, hey, buddy, I think you're okay.
Yeah, exactly. And he also used it to his thing was, and I've heard this from multiple reporters and insiders and all that sort of thing. So he would be in the tunnel for the national championship games and would sneak away, call recruits. Hey, just so you know, we're about to go into the national championship game, or call high school coaches or whatever it is. Like, I'm thinking of Joey, the 5-star, right? I understand I got to go to, take care of LSU out here, but I just wanted you to know. Imagine that call, right? I commit, right now. I commit, coach. Go win a title. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Making it to a Final Four is awesome, but it does make you late to the offseason. So Duke has to make decisions just a little bit faster. There's already guys that have gone into the portal and come out of the portal. Not to say Elliot Cadeau would have ever entertained it and would have been just rivalry fodder if he did, but he into the portal from UNC, out of the portal to Michigan, and there were teams still playing the entire time. Right, those teams probably didn't get a chance to throw their hat in the ring. So Duke, looking at their roster right now, has to decide who's coming back. And by the way, players have to decide. Right, the players who still have eligibility left were not thinking about, should I enter the portal, should I go pro, while they were trying to win a national title. So Duke better kick their roster evaluation to overdrive. Mason Gillis, Sion James, out of eligibility. You thank them for their time. They're gone. Cooper Flagg, Con Knipple, Kaman Malawash. If any of them return, it would be an all-time surprise, so you just have to treat them as if they're gone. That leaves these names: Tyrese Proctor, Isaiah Evans, Caleb Foster, Patrick Gungba, and Malik Brown. Tyrese Proctor and Isaiah Evans, if you're wondering, are both projected inside the top 50 of ESPN's most recent NBA draft rankings, but neither is projected to be a first-round pick. So they're in that first 15 to 20 picks of the second round, which, I mean, that's if your dream has always been to play in the NBA, that's at minimum a roster spot, right? So they have both the NBA, the portal, and returning to decide from. Gungba, Foster, Brown, portal, returning. Or I guess if you're Brown, because you are an older individual, you could, just go play overseas, cash some checks there. They also have incoming commits already in Cameron Boozer, the 3rd recruit in the country, power forward. Shelton Henderson, the 14th recruit in the country, small forward. Nicholas Kamenia, 15th recruit in the country, another power forward. And Caden Boozer, the 24th best recruit in the country. This all according to 247 Sports. Point guard. They are in the mix for Nate Ament, who is the 4th recruit in the country who has postponed his decision. He is a, 4th recruit in the country, right? Oh, he's big, he's tall, he's got guard skills, that sort of deal. The final 5 still considering Arkansas, Duke, Kentucky, Louisville, and Tennessee. I don't know how much money Louisville has, but they're in every conversation. The first thing you have to do is talk to the players. That's and you have to be urgent without pushy, right? You have to know what they're thinking and doing, because, if Gungba returns or not decides how aggressive you have to be in the transfer portal market for a big. Whether Tyrese Proctor returns or not decides how aggressive you have to be for another ball handler, because if you pair Proctor with Caden Boozer, you're probably okay. However, if either of those guys leave, all of a sudden you have more needs. As far as individual players, looking at it from the player standpoint, I think the only one you run away from, kind of from the recruiting class, is Cameron Boozer, the taller Boozer. Everyone else, you're not going to go anywhere where they don't have any competition at your position. Cameron Boozer is going to play, and he's going to play a bunch. Right? If you were hoping to be like the 4-man, the oversized 3, that's going to be Cameron Boozer's spot, and that might lead to, all right, I'm gonna go test the transfer portal because I want minutes at that position. Other than that, the other guys, they're top recruits, but you're Duke. Everybody's a top recruit. You don't want to run from everything. These are my picks for how it's going to shake out. I think coming back will be Isaiah Evans, Pat Gungba, Malik Brown, and this is just playing a gut. I think Proctor comes back.
Really?
I think he's one of the last of a 4-year starting dying breed. And I know he hasn't started every game, but at times through all 4 years. I think Caleb Foster hits the transfer portal. Part of that is looking for a bigger role, and he can do math and see, kind of how this season played out and who's coming in next year. And I think all 3 of the obvious go pro. Flagg, Knipple, Malawash are all top 9 picks, and you don't pass up that kind of money. So if we operate off of what I just said, the shopping list is interesting for Duke. We've talked about how it appears John Shire wants to put it together, and he did so this year, which is you get your big, splashy, sizzly stars from high school, and then you supplement with specific skill sets out of the transfer portal. You want a shooter off the bench, you go get Mason Gillis. You want a veteran point guard, you go get Sion James. Right? You do things like that to specifically. You want a defensive big because you have a bunch of freshmen coming in at post, and you understand defense is usually the hardest thing to grasp. You go get Malik Brown from Syracuse. The shopping list, looking at it, again, especially if Isaiah Evans leaves, but even if he returns, I think you need shooting. I think you go find someone in some mid-major who's shot 44% from three the last 3 years, and you offer them the money and the prestige of Duke, and you bring them in with the role of being, hey, when we need spacing, it's you. When we need high-usage scoring, it is not you. When we need to lock up on the perimeter, I mean, if you want to give it your best effort on their third option, go ahead. But you're not our stopper. We need shooters. And if Gongba leaves, but even if he doesn't, I think you need another true center. I don't know if Gongba's ever going to be like a 30 minutes a night guy. Big guys are difficult that way, but you still need to be able to defend the rim. Cameron Boozer's big, but he has, perimeter skill sets and everything else. And the crazy part is other teams have been doing this already. Other teams have been executing plans. Some teams might be on, like they already know they struck out on plan A, B, and C, and they're already trying to execute plan D. Duke is out there, still getting settled. First class problem nonetheless. Right? First class problem, don't get me wrong. Problem nonetheless. They're behind. The transfer portal, which we've said a bunch of times, and I will continue to say, shouldn't open until after the national championship game. I would love it if today was the first day the transfer portal opened.
100% agree.
It would make so much sense. But with the way it operates, I'm sure Duke's been multitasking a bit, right, using Tuesdays and Wednesdays to make decisions. Everybody else has been a 24/7 job. And after this, the way this season ended, there's no lack of motivation to get back to where you were and try to get over the hump this time. They're going to be all in yet again.
And don't forget, Duke also has former 4-star recruit Darren Harris, who was a freshman this past year as well.
True. Didn't really work his way into the rotation very much.
Kind of hard to with that group.
True. In the post-game locker room, he did insinuate he was coming back.
Yep.
He would be far from it would be the first freshman to change his mind after saying something. So, not 100%, but if you take him for his word, he'll be back. And he's a good player. I mean, I obviously didn't see much of him in college, but in high school, the highlight tape is there. Has some ability. What's his role next year? We'd have to know how much he developed kind of out of the public eye this year to have any idea on that case. And if Nate Ament comes, that shakes everything up as well, because that's another super-duper star recruit that would require minutes. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the Dean's List coming up, in which we try to shoehorn a national championship into as many local ties as we possibly can, even when the trophy's going back to Gainesville. But before we do any of that, Dennis Cox has some info for you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. It's the time of year. It's riding season. It's time to get back out on the motorcycle. I'm enjoying the wonderful weather. I love getting back on the motorcycle and riding this time of year. The bike was parked away for too long because of the cold weather. So beware when you're out there driving, folks. You're going to see a lot more motorcycles out there on the road. But if you are a motorcycle rider, this is where Law Tigers comes in for you. If you're a motorcycle rider or you're thinking about ever getting a motorcycle, check out lawtigers.com. Scroll down on their homepage. You'll see a free rider benefit kit. That is something out there for you. You can know your benefits and everything that's there for you in case you are involved in an accident while on a motorcycle. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you call your insurance companies. Insurance companies, we all know, they just want to give you the least amount possible. Whereas Law Tigers, they're riders too. They're part of that motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike is worth. They know what your gear is worth. They know what you're going through after an accident. That's why your case evaluation with them is always free, and they don't get paid until your case settles. Maybe you got injured in a motorcycle accident a few months ago. Insurance companies not doing the right thing? Still call Law Tigers 1-800-LAW Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Again, with the Dean's List, we're trying to put a local celebration onto a Florida Gators national championship. Stick around.
Listen to 99.9 The Fan every afternoon during the Drive for your chance to see the Storm Surge in person. It's our annual 10K playoff payout. Try your luck at playoff tickets by finding the golden puck and take your ultimate slap shot at $10,000. Listen for the 10K playoff payout. And remember, with Ford F-150 on your team, it's game on. See your Carolina Ford dealer today.
Is your heating and air system ready for the changing season? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
When it comes to restoring cars, Diego's got skills. And with Total Wireless in his corner, the whole world sees them. With the dual camera system on his new iPhone 13, he can take amazing car photos and post them on the fly with super fast 5G, and even turn this part-time hobby into a full-time gig. His claim to fame? Claiming iPhone 13 with 5G on us. Get iPhone 13 with 5G on us when you switch to the Total 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan. Total Wireless, in your corner. For a limited time while supplies last. Valid in store only. Requires support in and ID verification. Restrictions apply.
Stitches, itches, aches, and pains. Strep and sinus, minor sprains. Pink eye, earaches, fever, flu. Virtual visits, physicals too. At WakeMed MyCare 365, we offer both walk-in primary care and urgent care. So find the MyCare location nearest you at wakemed.org. Walk right in, and for just about anything from asthma, rashes, and examinations to x-rays, labs, and vaccinations, make MyCare your care.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Marcy Bailey from Bailey's Fine Jewelry, here to share why Bailey's is consistently voted best place to buy your diamond. First off, our amazing selection of diamonds is unparalleled. We also have hundreds of the most coveted engagement ring styles to fit any budget. You can also utilize our vast selection of loose diamond inventory and custom workshop to create your dream ring. And if that's not enough, we also offer an unprecedented lifetime diamond guarantee. I invite you to come see for yourself. Visit us today in-store or at baileybox.com.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately.
Nope, sticking to our go-to places.
You mean like Sharky's?
Well, we love our Sharky's. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime and Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3.
You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection.
And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Yes.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durham Road. Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with Upfit Solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed Upfit Solutions from Van Products.
At First Carolina Bank, we pride ourselves on building relationships and doing the day-to-day things in banking extremely well. Experience the First Carolina way for yourself or your business today. Visit firstcarolinabank.com. First Carolina Bank, member FDIC.
Burns shot, they score! Burns puts it through. There was net front. Jankowski was out there. And the Hurricanes, of course, it's Mark Jankowski, his 8th in a Canes uniform. And it's a 1-goal game here in Detroit.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There is a Canes game tonight, by the way, hockey night in Carolina. At 4:33, we will be taking first goal scorer predictions. That's about 1 hour from now. Who do you think will score the first goal tonight for the Canes? And in what period do you think they will score it? Have that ready for about an hour from now. Call in. You could win a sweet Apex Racing Lab gift certificate. Also, we're getting close to the playoff time out there on the ice. That means spring is here. There's never a bad time to think about home improvements. Join us, Dennis and I, while we broadcast live from the Aluminum Company's annual Spring Open House this Friday, just in a handful of days from now, this Friday, April 11th. The Spring Open House takes place on Friday and Saturday at 1335. That's 1335 Hamlin Road in Durham. Come out and enjoy some complimentary food, free, no-obligation estimates, giveaways, and more. We'll be there this Friday for the show. Now, let's fire up the Dean's List. Class is in session. First of all, we did highlight this a little bit, but I'm going to do so again. Basically, my goal for most of these Dean's Lists today, because we always highlight those in the college sports world that deserve a little extra praise, is to take national championships and somehow claim them as our own, even though they went to UConn for the women and Florida for the men. For UConn, Sarah Strong, Fuquay-Varina native.
Of course.
Freshman. She was number 1 recruit in the country. In the championship game, she had 25, 15, 4. That's 25 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. I want to emphasize, she's a freshman, and that was in the national championship game. UConn smoked South Carolina. I know everybody wants to talk about Paige Beckers, rightfully so. Great career. Strong might be starting a nice little 4-year run through college at UConn, where you start getting some places. So, shout out to Sarah Strong. By the way, you want to talk about a good weekend? Might just have to give UConn women's basketball in general, because Sue Bird, Maya Moore going into the Hall of Fame. Then they win a national championship that same weekend. UConn's living life. That's what elite teams do, everybody. That's what elite teams do.
They just reload every year.
One of the number 1 recruits, eligibility expiring. One of the number 1 recruits just had a massive breakout performance in a national championship win. I don't know if Sue Bird and Maya Moore were number 1 recruits, but they felt like they were. They're going into the Hall of Fame. That's how you do it. You recruit well, you win, you produce NBA stars, or WNBA stars in that case. Now, do you think we can do the same thing for the men's national championship? Last night, Florida, they went ahead and beat Houston. Would have been easier to claim it as a North Carolina title if Houston won, because Kelvin Samson, their head coach, is a Pembroke guy. But instead, I'm going to have to work a little harder on this. Do you know who Micah Handlogton is?
No, I don't.
Well, he played about 9 minutes last night for Florida, scored 2 points, 4 rebounds in the championship game. So he is a national champion and a contributor. He is 7'1". He is 235 pounds, and he is from Lake Norman, North Carolina, everybody.
Let's go.
South Lake Christian Academy. By way of 1 year at Marshall, built himself into a bigger recruit, goes to Florida for the last 2 years. Boom, national championship. I'm not saying that his 2 points and 4 rebounds were the difference, But it was a close enough game that 2 points and 4 rebounds might have been the difference. Also, John Andrzejczyk, assistant coach. They call him the defensive coordinator for the Florida Gators.
Okay.
He's taking the Campbell job.
That's right.
He's the next Campbell head coach. He was talking about Campbell on the floor to the media after winning the national championship as an assistant at Florida. Hit a little like, go Gators, roll humps. Hit them both. That's all. That's the best I can do as far as finding a way for us to claim a national championship, state of North Carolina. There's at least one player from North Carolina on both national championship teams. We maybe a down year for the actual play in the national championship game from the teams from the state of North Carolina, but at least one player is there. Do you have one you want to add? I have one more.
I have a couple.
No, go ahead. Go take it away.
So Duke and North Carolina played each other in baseball over this past weekend. They had a 3-game series, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And Alex Madera, walk-off game-winning single in the 14th inning for UNC. It was 4 for 6 from the plate that day, including that walk-off game-winning single. Let's always give a shout-out. Walk-offs.
I actually was going to mention that. I have another baseball shout-out.
Oh, you do? Okay. I do have another one, but it's not baseball-related. But
Josh Hogue, NC State baseball.
Yeah.
Walk-off home run versus UVA.
There you go.
And I'd like the highlight came across my social media, and I immediately, right, every sports fan, your eyes go to the score bug in the corner. He had the backyard talking to yourself as the announcer and the player imaginary scenario. 2 outs. 2 on. Down 2. Bottom of the 9th. 3-1 pitch. Takes the pitch on the outside part of the plate and goes opposite way for the 3-run walk-off.
There we go.
You know what happens when you're playing the imaginary game and you don't hit the home run?
What's that?
Oh, catcher's interference. Another pitch. All right, anytime you miss a shot, 3, 2, 1, and you brick it. Oh, fouled. Going to the free throw line, right? It's all imaginary. You can keep it going. Josh Hogue wasn't imaginary. He actually had to hit the home run, and he did. Walked it off against UVA. There you go. What's your other one? You said you got one more?
I do. Quick one. Shenandoah University Hall of Fame were just announced or just inducted their class of 2025. Samantha Sisson, women's lacrosse player, inducted into the Hall of Fame. I recruited her and coached her freshman and sophomore years.
What's the give us the scouting report? Scorer, defender? What are we looking at?
You're talking about like they call it in hockey 200-foot players.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they call them in hockey and lacrosse. They're just full-on midfielders.
You were the Shenandoah women's lacrosse version of Rod Brindamore.
Basically.
If you were going to get on the field for me, you were going to play both ways.
She took draws. Was great at that too. So yes.
All right.
That's like she would have won a Selkie.
All right. Your yeah, that's funny. Credit. What was her name? Sarah.
Samantha.
Samantha. Congratulations, Samantha. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9. The Fan class is dismissed on the Dean's List. This may be a bit of a brutal transition here, but you know who won't be going into the UNC Hall of Fame?
Oh.
Ian Jackson. Although, perhaps not. This is where I'm at right now with Ian Jackson going into the transfer portal for UNC basketball. 5-star freshman, had a hot streak, cooled off as the season went along, as well as Elliot Cadeau going in the transfer portal, coming out to Michigan, as well as Jalen Washington going in the transfer portal. I'm in the same place I was with Hubert Davis, which is you better know what you're doing. You better know what you're doing, Hubert Davis, and I'll throw Jim Tanner in there as well. That's not to say it can't be successful, but it is to say there's some trust going on here. Like
Jim Tanner being their general manager, by the way.
Correct. It's, if you tell me things are going to look bleak before they look better, and I believe you, I'm going to sit here waiting for things to look better. You know what I mean? By the way, Jay Will, who I know anytime Jay Williams talks about UNC, there's going to be, hey, take it with a grain of salt. But I did see him tweet out about this. This could just be a play to negotiate a higher salary and leverage the marketplace, which I wouldn't love because that just kind of indicates some kind of distrust between player and program. If he's like, you're not paying me, you're not offering me what I'm worth, and then go test the market. Like but I guess that we have to modern college basketball. I guess we have to consider everything, right? Maybe for lack of a better term, they're Brandon Ayuking him They're Lamar Jacksoning him, where it's like, yeah, you can go seek a trade, negotiate that contract with someone else. As soon as you agree to it, we'll pay you that contract, right? Because they don't want to pay $1 more when they have to. I guess that could happen. Maybe, possibly. Not what I expect. Ian Jackson on the way out. St. John's is being mentioned a lot. As far as I know, that's just a rumor. UNC, Drake Powell still up in the air, right? And I hate that. Again, modern college basketball, a player who played for you as a freshman just hasn't said he's not leaving. I don't know, a bunch of double negatives. He hasn't made an announcement that he's staying, and so we have to consider him as if he's like 50-50. Here's the good news for UNC. You can lose your highest-ranked recruits, right? Elliot Cadeau is one of the top recruits in the country. Ian Jackson is one of the top recruits in the country. If Drake Powell leaves to go pro or whatever, he's one of the highest-ranked recruits in the country. You can lose your highest-ranked recruits. You don't need 5 stars to win a title. You don't. Florida had 0 players that were top 100 recruits as high school prospects, and they're hanging the big banner that everyone wants to hang. But you do need to be really, really good and really, really intentional about fit, about what you're looking for. What roles do you want to fill? Walter Clayton Jr. was nice, right? He played very, very well for Florida. You know who I think was actually the underrated kind of linchpin, keystone species, whatever you want to call it, cornerstone for Florida? Alex Condon, the big guy. Right? Just a physical player, blocks shots. And the reason why I say that is because he was a really, really good complement to Walter Clayton Jr. You need to have the complete team. You need to pick the fit. Losing Elliot Cadeau and Ian Jackson is tough. And I get why some fans are like, what is happening? Because you, meaning your program, invested a lot of valuable resources in those players. And the resource I'm talking about is minutes. Right? Every game you get 5 players, you get 40 minutes. And every minute you give to one player is a minute you're not giving to someone on your bench. And experience is wildly important in development, right? I say it all the time. Learning from film, it's just easier when you're watching you. Because you know what you were thinking, you know why you did what you did, and you'd like to say, I can watch film of my teammates, and based on what they did or didn't do, I could learn, but it's not the same. So you gave a lot of minutes to Cadeau over the last 2 years. You gave a lot of minutes to Ian Jackson this past year. And now some other team, Michigan in Cadeau's case, is going to benefit from the minutes you gave him. And that's tough. That hurts. Right? Wait, well, we did all this for you. Yeah, you did, but he's not obligated. He doesn't owe you anything, not in modern college basketball. So you kind of have to do the same to another team. And you can be a little bit more specific in what you want. When you get Cadeau or Jackson or Powell or Caleb Wilson, your big 5-star coming in this next year, anyone out of high school, you are I mean, I'll go with the corniest, cheesiest analogy possible. You're recruiting a seed, and you're hoping it grows into the tree you want to have in your garden, right? You're getting an apple seed, and you're hoping like, hey, once this thing grows, I'll be eating apples. Well, you know, even if Cadeau ended up big success, you thought it was an apple seed, it was a lime tree, right? It just and you got an apple juice recipe. It's just it didn't fit. Still a healthy tree. Right? You thought you were going to get a shooter, maybe. And turns out he developed as a passer, got better at this, got better at that. The shooting never came to a college level. All right, cool. Well, guess what? You can go now buy a fully grown tree. You can go buy a shooter if that's what you need. Just like Florida did. Florida needed a shooter. They went and got Walter Clayton Jr. from Iona. There's probably, and I didn't look it up, there's probably some recruit that Florida recruited that same year Walter Clayton was a recruit and didn't work out, so they switched it. Go get someone that another team developed into what you need. You don't need 5 stars. They make it easier sometimes. But you don't need them. Houston didn't have any 5 stars. Houston had a couple top 40 recruits. That's as high as they got. What I'm saying is, there are more than a few ways to win a college basketball national championship. And for those of you saying I'm putting my cart way in front of the horse, even mentioning a national championship with UNC based on what we saw this year, you're one of the programs, it doesn't matter what last year did, you count national championships. That's kind of how you measure your program. Congratulations to you for being that program, but that's where you got to shoot for. And there are more than a few ways to do it. But I don't think you stumble into it. Right? If you want to be a team that puts together a bunch of veterans with a bunch of experience, use the transfer portal a ton, I think you can do that. Houston did that. Almost got it. But I think you have to be intentional with it. If you want to be a team that builds around freshmen, we saw it with Duke. We see it with a few other teams. If you want to be a team that builds around the most pro-ready prodigy one-and-dones, I think you can do that, but you have to be intentional about it. And you have to learn what they're looking for, and you have to pitch them on it. I don't know what UNC's plan is right now. I know that their backcourt is not what it is right now, is not what it's going to be at the first opening tip of their games next year. I don't think it has to be. But they better be being intentional. They better be having a plan. They better be executing. And that's why I'm looking at Hubert Davis and Jim Tanner going, hope you know what you're doing. You see this in real estate every once in a while. So it'll be in the news. The historic old building was just bought and purchased. 6 months later, the entire thing was knocked down. Everybody gets really up in arms. It's like, I want to see what they build. Hope they know what they're doing. Better be something that was cooler than the historic building that was there. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm also looking for the Canes to have a better night tonight. By the way, now that
aren't we all?
I'm going to walk that back a little bit, but you'll see why in a second. First, now that spring is here, there's never a bad time to think about home improvements. Join us while we broadcast this show, live from the Aluminum Company's annual Spring Open House this Friday, April 11th. The Spring Open House takes place this Friday and Saturday, the 11th and 12th of April, at 1335 Hamlin Road in Durham. That's 1335 Hamlin Road in Durham. Plug it into your GPS. It'll take you right there. Come out and enjoy some complimentary food. Get some information. Talk free, no obligation estimates, giveaways, and much, much more. All out there at the Aluminum Company. This Friday, we'll be there, the open house Friday and Saturday. The Canes need wins. The Canes need to play better. Everything we said, right? Like, I'm looking for them to have a better game. They've lost 2. That's natural. They need steps towards normalcy. I think they're just looking to feel a bit more normal, and it's going to. Jordan Stahl expected to be back in the lineup, as is, I believe, Svetch expected to be back in the lineup. But yesterday we stumbled into a conversation that's been gnawing at me, right? And I like to think that shows that, like, I care about my job and even in my quiet moments, the conversations we have on this show stick with me. I think I'm trying. I think I'm trying, right? I think I'm trying to maybe, being real committed here. I'm doing my best to understand that the Canes will not be perfect going into the postseason. Playoff hockey will create worries. It will create stress. It will put tension on certain parts of your lineup. That's why we like it so much. So you want to be almost zen going into the postseason. And zen and calm and low heart rate, it doesn't come from your entire roster being healthy. It doesn't come from everybody playing well. It doesn't come from, it probably would help, but it doesn't come from your goalies playing lights out. It comes from the understanding that you have a team that can overcome the adversity. I'm lowering my desires for perfection because it won't happen. And I think it's something I have to work on when it comes to hockey. Right? I played college football, so I am much less demanding of perfection for football teams because I have experienced how impossible it is to be 100% at anything at the end of a long football year. Right? I know that everybody's playing hurt. I know that the best drawn plans are thrown out, crumpled up, and started over 10 times by the time you get to week 12 of a football season. Hockey should probably be even more so, and I don't think I'm giving it that credit, so I'm trying to do so now. right? Svetch is coming back in. William Carrier is coming back in at some point soon, hopefully. Jordan Stahl is coming back into the lineup. How will that affect it? Well, guess what? Someone is always coming back from an injury this time of year. And someone is always playing hurt and trying not to have to miss time with an injury. And a goalie is always a few games away from a bad game. Unless you're like on an all-time heater. No matter how good a goal scorer is, anyone is, they will go a few games without scoring. Everybody's talking about Svetch, right? Or sorry, Ovechkin. Getting my countryman a little messed up. Everybody's talking about Ovechkin. Now he's the best goal scorer ever, right? He's done more goals than anyone in NHL history. I went and looked at Alexander Ovechkin's best goal scoring season. He scored 65 goals in the 07-08 season. From February 15th to February 29th, he went 7 games without scoring a goal in that season, right? The all-time goal-scoring record holder in his all-time best goal-scoring season, he went 7 games without scoring a goal. The Canes have reasons to be worried. And Buffalo tonight, they're not the biggest and scares. They're a decent team. They'll catch you if you sleep on them. They're nearing elimination from postseason contention, but they can score with the best of them. They're one of the top scoring teams in the league. They give up nearly the most goals in the league as well, so they're used to playing in chaos. Canes just need to take small steps in the right direction and work on overcoming the little things, right? Work on overcoming the things that make everybody scared. That's what I'm looking at for the Canes. And I'm going to do my best to be more zen in handling things. Right? Instead of going, well, who's going to skate in what line when this guy comes back, which, by the way, I did for weeks, only to have injuries, to throw off those lines. It's more about, well, how versatile is this team as a whole? So no matter who's healthy, they can find a way to put together 4 effective lines that can either do their job or, more importantly, score the puck. That's what I'm looking for. Last 2 games, they've faced adversity and haven't really responded great. Right? Give up a couple early goals to a struggling goaltender, and it was like, well, this one's over. That's what you want to avoid. You don't want to avoid the hurdle. You want to jump over it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here. Oh, by the way, we do have a little 10K playoff payout coming up here shortly. But first, Tim Donnelly for Mainer Service Company. Talked with their owner, Brett, a couple of weeks ago. And what I gathered from the conversation, right, because I'm looking for nonverbals, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here, is Mainer, starting with their owner, Brett, and all the way on down, they care, right? They're passionate about what they do. It's heating, it's cooling, it's plumbing, electric. You may have some image in your mind of somebody that comes in and is just trying to get the job done and just wants to get home. That's not how it is. We walked into one of their training rooms where they have a bunch of air conditioners that they literally break intentionally just so their repairmen can come in and practice on them. And we wanted to see the inside of a water heater. And they asked one of their technicians to come over and help us. I mean, you would have thought he was trying, I was at the highest, most luxury car, and I already put the cash down, and they were trying to sell me. Came over, can I help you with this? Oh, let me see this. Do you have any questions about this? And he was just helping somebody out. Didn't know who I was from Adam. And that's what you get from every single person in Mainer Service Company. So just imagine the care they'll show when you have a leak and you need it fixed, when your air conditioner kicks the bucket or has an injury, right? Goes on the IR in the middle of a 100-degree heat wave in North Carolina. They'll show up and they'll care and they'll do a great job because that's what their culture is. Mainer Service Company, call them at 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Bookmark the number for when disaster strikes. Or visit them online, MainerServices.com. That's MAYNOR services.com. As I promised and as I mentioned, we do have an opportunity to qualify another contestant for the 10K playoff payout. It's back. Listen to 99.9 The Fan. That's this station. Listen to this show around this time, right about 4 o'clock all week for your chance to see the Storm Surge in person. It's It's our annual 10K playoff payout, so try your luck at a pair of Canes playoff tickets by finding the golden puck. And take your ultimate slap shot at $10,000. It's all happening at Invisalign Arena on April 16th, so we are coming up on the date. All you have to do is listen for the 10K playoff payout this week during the drive and call in when we tell you to, which is what I'm doing right now. Call in now. Caller number 9 at 919-860-5326 will have the opportunity to answer a question and qualify for the 10K playoff payout. You'll be one of our contestants. 919-860-5326. Call in now. Caller number 9 will have the opportunity to qualify. And remember, with Ford F-150 on your team, it's game on. See your Carolina Ford dealer today. 10K playoff payout and football at 4 coming up next.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Svechnikov, tick-tack, tied in Carolina on the man advantage.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Save made rebound. Game over! Sebastian Aho gives Carolina a 4-3 win in overtime.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Cool people, good time. America's favorite car show is back. The Good Guys 10th Griot's Garage North Carolina National is presented by Tremec. April 18th and 19th at the North Carolina State Fairgrounds in Raleigh. Cruise on out and see over 1,500 of the Southeast's finest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks. Autocross racing, a Saturday night demolition derby, Fender Midway, live entertainment, and more. April 18th and 19th at the North Carolina State Fairgrounds. Details at good-guys.com.
When you switch to Progressive and bundle your home and auto, you could save hundreds, and that's a surprising amount of money.
Whoa, that's like farmer's market money.
That's like give me a gallon of that locally sourced raw honey money.
That's certified organic heirloom tomatoes in every imaginable color except red money.
That's let's get 2 pounds of pink oyster mushrooms money. I'm not even sure I like pink oyster mushrooms.
Guess it's time to find out, because you could save hundreds when you switch to Progressive and bundle. Then the world is your pink oyster mushroom. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
Are you suffering from chronic joint pain or just struggling with daily activities because of discomfort in your knees, back, or other parts of your body? Well, I've got great news. It's called DaVita Med Spa and Wellness, a solution that can help you get back to feeling like yourself again without the risks of invasive surgery or long-term prescription drug use. DaVita Med Spa and Wellness is a regenerative medicine clinic. Their innovative treatment options address the root cause of your pain to promote healing and prevent re-injury for long-lasting pain relief. If you have arthritis, joint pain, sports injuries, or other conditions, their highly trained medical providers will develop a cutting-edge treatment plan tailored just for you with little to no downtime. DaVita Med Spa and Wellness can get you back to doing the things you love. Call DaVita Med Spa and Wellness today, spelled DVIDA. Call 984-333-1313, 984-333-1313, 984-333-1313.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom, and that's what we offer at Loan Pronto using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low 5s, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Increasing sunshine through the afternoon. It's going to feel chilly, though. Sweater weather out there with a high temperature of only 60 degrees. And we drop into the low to mid 30s overnight tonight, so you may need to protect any tender vegetation. We do have a freeze warning in effect for tonight. Tomorrow, the sunshine is back, but it stays cool with a high of 60.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 800 points to 37,165.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to see if we can qualify Alex in Raleigh, who was caller number 9, to be part of our 10K playoff payout. Don't worry, if you aren't the one on the line right now, if you're not Alex in Raleigh, you will have at least 3 more chances to call in later this week. Every day this week, about this time, about 4 o'clock, we will qualify a new contestant for the 10K playoff payout, where you'll have your chance to see the Storm Surge in person. You'll try your luck at a pair of Canes playoff tickets by finding the golden puck and take your ultimate slap shot at $10,000. That's all happening at Invisalign Arena on April 16th. Just listen to this show about this time all week. Alex in Raleigh, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right. You have to answer a question to officially be qualified. I am not trying to trick you. Just give us the correct answer, and you'll be in there. Here is the question. Name one of the Carolina Hurricanes' team colors.
Red.
That is correct. You are officially qualified. Alex, you are part of the 10K playoff payout. Stay on the line. Dennis will get you all the information you need to know, okay?
Will do, man.
All right. Appreciate it. Alex is going to have a chance to take his ultimate slap shot at $10,000. And remember, everybody, with Ford F-150 on your team, it's game on. See your Carolina Ford dealer today. Now let's go ahead and fire up some football at 4.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
This is by name football at 4. Today it's kind of football and basketball at 4. And you may be saying, are you allowed to do that? Is it possible? That is exactly the question I'm asking. Florida, with the national championship that they won last night, men's basketball. I would have assumed somebody had done this already, but no. They are the first school to win 3 national championships in both football and men's basketball. They now have 3 of each, right? They have the Spurrier coached 96 national championship in football and the 2 Tebow championships. Then they have the Joakim Noah, Al Horford back-to-back basketball championships and the one they won last night. So there's 3 for both football and basketball. Florida, the only school to say that. At least that's what social media was telling me after the game. And I went, really? First of all, congratulations to Florida, I guess, right? Tip your cap to greatness. Shout out to my sister-in-law, Heather, who is a diehard Gator and I'm sure is still celebrating. Raising my niece and nephew as true Gators. We'll get them to Delaware before it's all said and done. Or here in the Triangle. Either way, my question went straight from is that really true, to can they keep it up? Can you be a dominant men's basketball and football program, or is even Florida and Alabama and Michigan, these teams that are trying to do both, UNC, do they have to choose? Right? Because we're expecting, based on the court conversations, the settlement conversations that are happening with lawyers that are highly paid between the NCAA and universities and payouts and everything else, we're expecting next year, right? So by the time football comes around again, that schools will be able to pay players. But it will be a limited number. It'll be some kind of revenue share, and it'll be a specific number that every team is allowed to pay to their players. Here's the fascinating part about it. It is not a football salary cap and a basketball salary cap and a baseball salary cap and a soccer salary cap and a volleyball. It's one salary cap for college athletes for each school. So imagine, right? This is what's about to take place. Imagine if the Hornets and the Canes had one salary cap and trying to compete in two different leagues. Right? If you wanted to break off a gigantic amount of money to pay for Sebastian Aho's next deal, and I'm just picking players here, that might mean you can't afford Brandon Miller's next deal, right? Like a basketball player may make so much money that you can't pay a goalie. That might happen here with college football and basketball, with the caveat being you can go out and fundraise other money to make up the difference. You can get fans and boosters and collectives to raise enough money to afford both, but think about how much you'd have to truly raise to compete in both. Because let's just say, pick an SEC football school. Right? Let's just say LSU decides who really cares about basketball. Right? They go, yeah, Glenn Big Baby Davis was a long time ago, right? Who cares about basketball? Let's take every dime we can raise, every single ounce of our energy, and put it towards football. At the most amount we're allowed to revenue share, every single NIL collective, every single fundraiser, autograph signing goes towards football. Can Florida match up with that football team and also match up with Villanova and UConn, who are all in the Big East, right? And they don't really have football, although UConn does, but let's not act like they never mind. So does Villanova, FCS. But the schools that prioritize basketball are putting their 10, 12, 15 million of revenue share plus whatever they raise towards basketball. Can Florida keep up with both? Can UNC keep up with both? Wall Street Journal, according to, Brad Crawford of 247 Sports, put out a list of the most, it's hard to judge this, most valuable college basketball teams. UNC was the most valuable, Duke was the second. And they're both roughly $100 million more valuable than anyone else in the country.
Yeah, they value UNC at $378 million and Duke at $370 million. Again, I don't know how you quantify that. Is that in terms of brand recognition, in terms of social media engagement, Q score?
Can you buy a team? Like if somebody wanted to own Duke basketball or UNC basketball, could they cut a check for $400 million and have just change coming back?
Just buy it?
I don't even know what that means, but it's Wall Street Journal, so there you go. My point is, like, UNC basketball is a massive deal. They also just spent $10 million a year plus all of the other extenuating costs on football with Bill Belichick. Can you do both? I guarantee you there's about 20 teams out there that are really going to try. I'm not sure it's possible. I'm not sure you can keep up in both. I'm interested to watch, and I hope it's possible because I don't like schools like having to essentially cut funding for some of the most storied programs in the country. But right? Actually, that's the question. Maybe we'll do this in the summertime. Right, when everything calms down a bit and there's some room. If you are State, if you are Duke, if you are UNC, we'll talk to the fans specifically. Would you trade being competitive in either football or basketball to be a darn near guaranteed contender every single year in the other? If I told State fans your basketball team is never going to be better than it was this year, but Your football team is going to be able to be toe-to-toe with the Bamas and Georgias in spending. Would you be interested in that? Or vice versa? Because that might be one way to make up the ACC to SEC gap is take all the money from one sport and put it on the other, which it's a topic for another day. But I'm gonna make sure we put a pin in that one. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, and credit to Florida: 3 national championships in football, 3 national championships in basketball, all of them since '96. So that's not even that long ago. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's not like they won a national championship in 1952 in football and.
Yeah, we were
still hanging on that.
We were looking it up. I went down a weird wormhole this morning, researching the 1946 and 47 Oklahoma State basketball national championships.
Hey, multiple championships, baby.
First, they're one of 15 schools with multiple national championships in college basketball. Oklahoma State is. They're 46 and 47. They had the first 7-footer in college basketball history. What about it? How about it?
Should be on the recruiting pitch.
It should be. They should make shirts. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 90. So every time like State brags about their 2 national championships, no, it hasn't happened since '83. Go, well, hey, at least we're not Oklahoma State. Still going back to the 40s. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's time for Ladder Challenge coming up, and I'm gonna have to find a new bet because my college basketball postseason bets that honey hole, well, it's dried up. Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
Sports teams struggle when they don't have the heart of their team in the lineup. And as we've seen with the Carolina Hurricanes, especially on the road, they've been missing their heart, Jordan Staal. But Stallsy, you only have one thing to worry about between now and the start of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Just get healthy, buddy. They're going to need you.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Your home shelters your dreams and protects your memories. At Baker Home Exteriors, we understand this deeply. It's why we've dedicated ourselves to caring for homes like yours. As part of the Baker Roofing family, we bring a century of expertise to every project, from roofing and siding to windows and decks. We don't just upgrade homes, we help protect the life you've built within them. Because your home is where our heart is. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com and start your home's next chapter.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And here's what we know at FanDuel. We know that baseball fans dig the long ball. And with Dinger Tuesdays, all FanDuel customers can get a home run profit boost. That means when you bet on moonshots, you can take your winnings to new heights. See what we did there? So whether it's a big blast or an Oppo Taco, gosh, I love that, FanDuel's your home for betting on home runs. Just go to FanDuel.com/AdamGold. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. Claim your Dinger Tuesday profit boost right now. Official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and maximum wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
John is in a hot tub on his vacation. He earned 20,000 points by spending $2,000 with his Navy Federal Credit Union More Rewards card. To be clear, you don't have to vacation in a hot tub to redeem this offer. But John did, because the bubbles make him happy. Right now, you can earn 20,000 points when you spend $2,000 in the first 90 days. Offer ends January 1st, 2026. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Visit NavyFederal.org for details.
Doesn't the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club give the best massages?
I've never felt so relaxed.
Thanks to this month's scratch-offs, this is our life now.
It's like winning again and again and again.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $150 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds for winning range from 103.8 to 9.88. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Is your AC ready for summer? Don't wait for the heat to hit. Weak airflow? Warm air? Strange noises? These are warning signs your AC needs attention. Our skilled technicians offer AC repair services or replacements to keep your family cool all summer long. Don't sweat it. 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning has your back. Here to keep your home cool all summer. Visit onehour.com to schedule today. Financing options available.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 biggie bag with a junior bacon cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, junior hot and crispy fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I promise we will get to the ladder challenge. But we do have to get to, I don't know, like this is big, blinking, breaking news that is absolutely not news, and it means nothing is changing. Seth Trimble, 3-year player for the University of North Carolina Tar Heels, has announced his decision that he will continue to be a player for the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. He told On 3 earlier today, On 3 being the outlet, the publication, that following discussions with the UNC staff over the last couple of weeks, he is coming back to UNC. The reason why this is frustrating to me, it's good news for UNC. I really like Trimble. He's an explosive athlete. Started more games this year after being kind of a off-the-bench player his first couple of years. You can't teach experience. Like all of that, very good. I think it's good for UNC. It's frustrating because this is a guy that did not enter the transfer portal, and in kind of every conversation that he's had recently, it seems like he's wanted to come back to UNC. So, I don't often like call up my friends and just go like, hey, me and Mandy are staying together.
It's weird how in college athletics you have to announce it now.
Yeah.
I am coming back.
I didn't
realize you were thinking about leaving.
He was quoted after the loss to Ole Miss. I'm reading this off at 247 Sports Inside Carolina. He was quoted saying, "I want to come back to this school. I'm a Tar Heel, but you just have to reevaluate after every year. That goes for every athlete on every single team, from Division III Rowan to NBA players. Everybody reevaluates. So that's just what has to be done. But this year, my teammates, the memories here, it means everything to me." So he did reevaluate, but he's coming back. Also, ricochet shot to Rowan. I don't know why they have to be Glassboro, New Jersey's finest. I don't know why they have to be the from all the way down at Rowan, Division III. A lot of options could have been there.
Yeah, D3 catching strays over here.
Yeah,
what's going on?
My former center is the offensive coordinator on the football team at Rowan. So let's go Rowan. I was gonna say their mascot, but I don't know what it is. Maybe I should have looked it up before I did that whole dramatic don't insult Rowan thing. Trimble averaged almost 12 points per game, 5 rebounds, 1.4 steals, and 1.3 assists this year, all career highs. And he gets to do something that I always consider, especially now, kind of an added side quest. 4-year player at one university, especially for a program like UNC where they're constantly bringing in great players and trying to take jobs, and competitive. The strong will make it out. He ends up a 4-year player. That's pretty darn good. If I were him, I would take pride in that, and hopefully he is as he comes back. And he did test the portal last year, so he knows what's in there. He's been there. He knows what it feels like. Credit to Seth Trimble staying at UNC. That's one part of it. Now you got to continue to build around him. Still need more on the perimeter, more in the backcourt if you're Hubert Davis and that coaching staff. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the ladder challenge here on The Drive. Dennis, did your bet win last night?
I did.
Well, fine. Go ahead and I've been taking
did yours?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
But I've been taking very close to minus 1,000 bets. So you're gaining on me, and I'm just gonna try to keep hitting singles and let you strike out once or twice.
That's totally fair. That's totally understandable. So yesterday I had, let's see, what game was that? I can't remember what it was. Over 3.5 goals scored between Tampa Bay and New York Rangers.
All right.
Over 3.5 goals scored. They combined for 6. Nailed that. So I was up to now $20.86. So that was
28
-6
or 20?
$20.86.
28. I knew I was behind, but goodness gracious.
So I'm going to take my $20.86. Austin Matthews 2+ shots on goal today for the for the Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Florida Panthers.
I would take the under on shots on goal for Matthews for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yes, I'm sure you would. But 2+ shots on goal for Austin Matthews. Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Florida Panthers today. Florida's beat up. They are Jesse Puljujärvi, the former Carolina Hurricane who couldn't even sniff the playoffs, is on the top line today for the Florida Panthers because that's how beat up they are. So give me Austin Matthews, 2+ shots on goal, -750. $20.86 will turn into $23.64 by the end of the night tonight.
It is interesting because I've been doing mostly like -900, -950 bets. You have a decent amount more money than me, even though neither of us have lost this year. Last night I had Florida +12.5 versus Houston.
Yep, felt good about that one.
Well, they did get down by 12.
They did.
But I was never out of the winner's circle. 12 was the most they were down by. I had +12.5. So I was doing all right. Teased it all the way down. Turned my $16.04 into $17.78. Tonight, I'm going with one of yours. Canes, Sabres, over 3.5 goals scored.
Yeah.
Sabres allow a ton of goals.
They do.
They also score a bunch of goals.
That they do.
And we're expecting Pyotr Kochetkov in net for the Canes. I would gladly take a loss if this means Pyotr plays lights out, but it's a bit of an emotional hedge. If he keeps giving up goals, at least I'll get a winning bet out of it. It is one of the ways fans can use gambling as entertainment coupons to make your life sting a little less as a fan. Your fandom sting a little less.
So Canes 3-0 shutout tonight.
I would love it. I would love it. I would be if you tell me 3-0, Pyotr stands on his head. I would take this loss with a smile. But if that's not the case, and they score at least 4 goals combined, I will take the win. Maybe with a frown, but I will take the win. So $17.78 would turn into $19.71. $19.71 is what I'm looking at. Good year, 1971. That's the ladder challenge. We do have, for Canes fans out there, first goal scorer predictions coming up at 4:33. So less than 10 minutes now, you're going to want to have who you think will score the first goal for the Canes and in what period you think they will score it, ready to call in. First goal scorer predictions coming up at 4:33. In the meantime, we're going to hit a condensed version of Cop or Drop.
You want true enlightenment? Well, I'm dropping.
Dennis, the floor is yours. What are we copping? What are we dropping?
All right, let's go to... this one's special for you, Tim. The Masters is this week.
Let's go.
So it's been 7 straight years that we've seen the Masters winner, Masters champion, at -10 under par or better.
Okay.
10 under par or better. Cop or drop, this year's winners of the Masters will be 10 under or worse. So we're talking -9, -8, -7. Cop or drop, they'll be below 10 under par.
No, I'll go 10 under or better. So I'm dropping this.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah, I'm going. Here's the thing. I haven't heard, and I'm usually pretty connected to these worlds. Haven't heard of anything of them making the course more difficult, which they do every now and then when there's too many good scores. You do hear suddenly Augusta National, the members get together and let's change that. Haven't heard of any of that. I do think players continue to get better. I think there's more than a handful of the top guys that are in pretty good form. So I think the -20, which I believe is the record, was Dustin Johnson
2020.
That was during COVID, where they played it in a different time of year.
Yeah, it was in the fall.
Course was in a different state. But I could see this being a -11 to -13 year where somebody runs away with it. So boom, yeah, let's see some good golf, guys.
It's weird how U.S. Open would be like, no, we're making this so it's +7 wins the tournament.
And that's why I love golf, is the course can decide so much of it. And it's, it's special. I love carnage on a U.S. Open course, and I also love when guys are making birdies left and right, and they're firing back and forth at each other.
Okay, let's go to the NFL draft, which is just basically 2 weeks away. Cop or drop? 2 quarterbacks will be taken in the top 10 of the NFL draft. Cop or drop?
I think that's a good number. Cam Ward, absolutely. I'm copping it, and you know why? I think there's a decent, I would say above 50% chance that Shedeur Sanders goes in the top 10. The betting favorite for Shedeur Sanders to be drafted right now is the Saints at number 9, which would be an interesting kind of transition of power from Derek Carr to Shedeur Sanders, but that's neither here nor there. I also think there's like a 10% chance Jackson Dart surprises everybody and gets picked 8 to 10. He's the Ole Miss quarterback. Kind of in it. Do you remember how surprising it was that Michael Penix went 8 last year?
It shocked everybody.
To the Falcons, who had just paid Kirk Cousins. When quarterbacks fall out of the top 5, people get crazy. People get weird. Teams just start, it's a value. We can't not do it. So, yeah, I'm not saying we'll be that shocked, but somebody trading up, something like that, I'll take if you're going to make me choose, I'll take the cop that at least 2 go top 10.
Okay. Let's go to college basketball. Just because a player enters the transfer portal, that doesn't mean they can't return to their school, i.e. Seth Trumbull.
Yep.
Cop or drop? Ian Jackson returns to UNC. Cop or drop?
I'm dropping it. This one, I hate to say it, but the breakup kind of makes sense. Ian Jackson is somebody that is going to have a ton of options. Also, he's somebody that came in. I mean, I'm sure it would be ridiculous, and it would make me sound very uninformed if you go back and listen to us at the beginning of the year, where everyone was just casually referring to Ian Jackson as, projected first-round pick. Oh, first-rounder Ian Jackson. Oh, mid-first-round pick Ian Jackson, because that's what he was. That's what he was expected to be coming into his freshman year. I'm not sure he would be a first-rounder if he were drafted right now. If he is, it would be 30th. When a 5-stars draft prospects get worse, it's very rare to see them stay where they are. They can go, essentially their agent, which college athletes have agents now, can spin it as, oh, UNC wasn't using them right. Oh, UNC, they don't know how to handle it, right? So it just kind of makes sense that this one separates. You'd welcome him back. I think he's still a wildly talented guy, but I'd anticipate him ending up somewhere else. If I'm UNC, I would spend more time looking for a replacement than I would trying to grovel to get him to come back.
Okay, let's go to the Carolina Hurricanes. I know we have first goal scorer coming up here in about 3 minutes. Cop or drop? Pyotr Kochetkov plays at least one game in the opening round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Cop or drop? Most likely placed in New Jersey.
Yep. I'm going to drop. I personally, it's a bummer, but here's partially why. The New Jersey Devils at this point aren't the New Jersey Devils that made the postseason. They've gotten absolutely run over by injuries. If the Canes play to their level, or even, if they give, it doesn't have to be A+ game. If they give B+ or better, it's probably not going 7. You know what I mean? You'd want it over in 5 games, which would allow Freddie, who I believe, based on everything we've seen in the last, 2 weeks, has a pretty tight grip on being goalie 1 going into the postseason. If he's playing well, you're winning games, and you're confident you can close out the series early and give him kind of time to rest before the second round, I think we will see them roll with one goalie, and it'll be Freddie. I would love to get Pyotr Kochetkov in there in the first round, especially if he turns it around a little bit here towards the end of the regular season, just as a confidence booster in case you need him later in the postseason. But I don't see it happening that way, as bummer as that is.
Okay, cop or drop? We'll see Alexander Nikishin in the Canes uniform by the end of the year. Cop or drop?
I hand up, know what you don't know. I am not an expert on the negotiations that need to take place between NHL teams and KHL teams once the KHL season is over to get him here faster than because what is it, May 1st his contract is up?
Usually May 31st.
May 31st his contract's up. See, not an expert, as I said. But I did see one of his SKA St. Petersburg teammates, the negotiations he's going to go play for Montreal. So they're in the mood, right? They'll cut you loose if you work out the deal. But I don't know enough to speak super educated on whether he will or not. So instead, I'll speak with my heart and say, yes, he will be here very, very
confident.
soon.
All
I'm
right.
confident. If your brain fails you, lead with your heart, says a Hallmark card somewhere. That's what I'm rolling with. Do you have a better insight into that than my heart?
Yes, I do. The KHL team, I hope so. The KHL team holds the control.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a player can ask and request a release from their contract. Hey, it's about to expire. Our season's done. Let me go play in the NHL. Generally, KHL teams usually will grant them that permission. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of a matter of a couple things. It's like you obviously have to get like the work visas and like there's the true logistical work life stuff that comes into all this stuff, but also. It's a delicate thing because NHL teams don't want to press too hard on the KHL teams because they know they might be in this situation again down the line. So it is a delicate balance, but I think Scott will probably let him go probably very soon.
You can keep it tuned right here. You know we'll be on top of it, especially if it happens during the show. That would be exciting.
It would be.
You know what else is exciting? First goal scorer predictions. Right now, we'll open up the phone lines, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. We need 3 official contestants, 3 of you, to call in with who you think will score the first goal for the Canes and in what period you think they will score it. We are talking about tonight's game against Buffalo. If you get both right, the player and the period, then you win a sweet Apex Racing Lab gift certificate. As Dennis gathers those callers, again, 919-860-5326, I'll let you know a little bit more about the prize. The ultimate sim racing experience is at Apex Racing Lab. Rev up your engines at Apex Racing Lab, the Triangle's largest sim racing destination. Experience the ultimate thrill with 20 cutting-edge simulators, expert instructors, and world-class virtual tracks. Located in Carys-McGregor Village in Greater Raleigh, visit Apex Racing Lab today and unleash your racing passion. Learn more at apexracinglab.com. The contestants are on the phone line and waiting. If you did not get through on the phones, first of all, sorry, can't be an official contestant, but you can still test your hockey knowledge. Head to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan live stream, and in the comments, you can comment with a player and a period for who you think will score the first goal. If you get it right, we'll give you your just due, bragging rights, honor, all those sorts of things. You will not be eligible to win the prize. The contestants eligible to win the prize will start with Taylor in Holly Springs. Taylor, thank you for calling in. Who will score the first goal for the Canes and in what period?
Absolutely. I think it's going to be Aho in the first, and it'll be from an assist from Jarvie.
All right. Do you want to give us some reasoning? Why is that what you're going with?
I don't know. Just got a good feeling about it.
All right. Well, I hope you're right. Appreciate it. Taylor, stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you. Brian in Holly Springs, you are up next. Brian, who scores the first goal and in what period?
Give me the new kid, Blake. It's going to be in the first period. I think it's going to be a deflection. 5-on-5. He's hot right now.
All right. This is just a side note. Like, when does he stop being the new kid? I know he's the rookie, but Taylor Hall's newer to the team. Stankoven's newer to the team. Is it the new kid just because like he's the young kid?
Young, because he's still got diapers on.
All right, I like it. Stay on the line. Dennis will grab that info from you. And finally, Chad in Hillsboro, our last official contestant here for today's game. Who scores the first goal for the Canes and in what period?
I'm going to say it's going to be Ghost from the point on a power play.
Ghost from the point on a power play, and that is in the first period?
Yes, first period.
All right, what makes you look blue line for the first goal?
I just feel like Ghost has been knocking them back, and he needs a goal.
All right. I like it. Stay on the line, and Dennis will grab that info from you. I like when the justification is half like, oh, he's playing well, or he's getting a lot of shots on goal, or this matchup is good, and then it's half like he needs it, right? We're speaking it into existence here, right? It's not just why you think it will be a goal, it's why you hope it will be a goal. And again, the winner of those three, if they get it right, you have to get it right, obviously, gets a sweet Apex Racing Lab gift certificate. For the rest of you, we'd still love to hear your predictions. You just have to comment them on our YouTube live stream comments. Go to 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel while you're there. We'd greatly appreciate it. And check out all the other content we put on, not now, but after the show. And then in our live stream comments, you can comment a name and a player. Right, the example I always say is this were 06, Eric Stahl in the first would probably be a good selection, right? Hey, you might go Rod in the first if it were back then. The answer is from our official contestants. Aho in the first. That's from Taylor. Brian went with Blake in the first. That's the youngster Jackson Blake. And Chad went with Gostisbehere in the first. Those are the locked in, but you can double up if you want, right? The unofficial contestants can go crazy. Dennis, now that you've gathered that information, we need your first goal score prediction. Which way are you looking?
Oh, this. I was heavily thinking on this one. Who's back in goal, or who's back in the lineup today?
Svetch and Stahl.
The captain.
Okay.
Give me the captain, Jordan Stahl, in the first period. He gets a rebound after initial shot by Svetch. Martin looks right there, gets a deflect. Gets a piece of it off a rebound, and Stahl's right there to clean things up, poke it in from the blue paint.
I wish
Jordan Stahl.
I wish I understood you were doing like a big dramatic reveal, asking me a question. I was way too earnest with my answer. You're like, who's coming back? I was like, well, actually, we're expected to have Svetch and Stahl back from injury, and you're like, just say Stahl so I can give my cool pick here. The captain would have been, yeah. Anyway, I messed that up for you.
It's all good.
Hopefully, I don't mess this up for you. First goal score prediction: Jack Roslovic.
Oh, Rosie, okay. It's been a minute since he scored.
Yesterday at practice, he was centering the second line.
Yeah, he's been doing that.
So you throw him up there, Hall, Stankoven, I think he's due. It's been a long time. There's only so much skating you can do with other really good kind of high hockey IQ guys before you almost accidentally find the back of the net. Just ask Jackson Blake, right? He broke the lid off the net for him with a goal that he didn't even hit with his stick. So I'm thinking Roslovic, I don't want to say gets lucky, but just right place, right time style goal and finds his way into the back of the net. Roslovic, and by the way, in the first.
Robert says Blake in the first period. He said that earlier today. Christopher says Seth Jarvis in the first period. Comebread said he wants to see Aho, Jarvis, Blake to have a hot game together, 5 to 7 points between them at least. That's what he wants. Hey, if that happens, by all means.
5 to 7.
5 to 7.
You gave such a wide range. I'll take not 5 plus, 5 to 7.
5 to 7. It's got to be within that. If anything else, if they get 8, failure.
Yeah, they're going to put up 9, and he's going to be like, it's outside the band I was looking for, 5 to 7 specifically.
But Comebread did say Aho on a shorthanded breakaway in the first, around 16 minutes in. So I had to ask who's in the box, and he said Svetch for roughing.
Yeah, all right. I mean, that's a high percentage. First of all, shorthanded goal is high percentage this year, just that alone.
Yep.
And then if Svetch being in the box, that's high percentage
That's
as
also
well.
very high percentage. Paralyzed Coyote. He's feeling very defenseman-y today.
I don't hate that.
Sean Walker in the first, towards the end of the first period. I'm like, that's my guy. Sean Walker. Travis and I.
If somebody else gets Sean Walker right on a first goal score prediction, you're going to be a little bitter.
I am. I really am. Travis said Stahl in the first period. He's been watching. He and Travis and I are on the same wavelength. Stahl's been watching these games, and he's ready to roll. Burns shot from the point, and Stahl stuffs in the rebound. Also, Brandon says, give me Jankowski in the first.
Janky. I don't want to say his play because he's actually still playing really well. I like Jankowski. The public ceremony, just the fever, the janky mania has calmed down a little bit. There was a point in time where he was like a first goal scorer prediction as much as Aho and Jarvis was a first goal scorer prediction.
I mean, he scored against Detroit just a couple games ago.
That's why I said his play hasn't actually slowed down. He's still playing well. It's just the janky mania has calmed a bit.
A few more predictions rolling in. We have Svetch in the first, all on a 5-on-5 goal assisted by Martinook. That's according to Chris.
I would love Svetch to score a lot,
just
for his own confidence.
Matt said Robinson about to go on a heater, so he goes Eric Robinson in the first. Jason says Stanky in the second period, and Levi just posted in there Hall in the first period, one-timer on the power play. We're all over the place.
Mine came down to Roslovic and Hull. I just had a vibe on it. That was my final two, and I went Roslovic. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You can keep sending in those predictions, by the way, on our YouTube live stream comments. We may have a chance to get more on air by the end of the show. Before we move on, and I want to play a game of winners and losers, here's Dennis Cox with some info for you.
Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Folks, I don't know if you've been outside lately, but it's an absolutely gorgeous day. Do not be shocked if you see more motorcycles out there on the road. And as a motorcycle rider, you might see me out there occasionally as well. But if you are a motorcycle rider or you're thinking about becoming one, it's a fun time. It really is an enjoyment being out there on the road, riding a motorcycle. It really is a lot of fun. But there is a risk out there when you're on a bike of an accident. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, you have to contact Law Tigers first at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, even before you contact your insurance companies. Insurance companies, they want to just pay the least amount possible, whereas Law Tigers, they're riders too. They know what your bike is worth. They know what your gear is worth. They know what you're going through after an accident, and that's the wonderful thing about Law Tigers. They are part of the community with you. They are motorcycle riders as well. They are part of that community. We always talk about in sports having a community, whether it's the fandom, the teams you root for, the area you live in, you have that community, and that's what Law Tigers is part of. They're part of that with you. That's the reason why you contact them, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, before you contact the insurance company. Give them a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Winners and losers. You can send in your winners and losers. Who's won and lost the last week? Not just on the scoreboard, but in vibes. Send those in on our YouTube comments as well on the live stream, 99.9 The Fan. Winners and losers next.
Listen to 99.9 The Fan every afternoon during the Drive for your chance to see the Storm Surge in person. It's our annual 10K playoff payout. Try your luck at playoff tickets by finding the golden puck and take your ultimate slap shot at $10,000. Listen for the 10K playoff payout. And remember, with Ford F-150 on your team, it's game on. See your Carolina Ford dealer today.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. It's hockey season, baby. I live and work on both coasts, and here's the deal. There's nothing like Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, including half-price pizzas Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and $6 Jamesons on Sunday. Dine in, carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Joint pain in your knees, shoulders, or lower back. It can stop you in your tracks. At DaVita Med Spa and Wellness, we offer a revolutionary course of treatment that can eliminate your joint pain and have you back to your old self in no time. Our regenerative therapies actually help repair damaged tissue to eliminate the pain without risky invasive surgery. If you suffer with joint pain and have been told your only options are medications, steroid injections, or surgery, DaVita Med Spa and Wellness offers non-surgical solutions using your body's own cells with minimal downtime and long-lasting results. Experience personalized, compassionate medical care at its best. Call our office now and see how you can get real, long-lasting relief from joint pain through regenerative medicine and the medical experts at DaVita Med Spa and Wellness, spelled D-V-I-D-A. Call 984-333-1313. That's 984-333-1313. 984-333-1313.
It's a big week in golf. Global Golf has everything you need to get ready for your next round. Browse all the top brands like Callaway, TaylorMade, Mizuno, Ping, and Titleist, plus expert help from our team of PGA Golf professionals for lessons and fittings. Global Golf has you covered with Carolina's largest selection of pre-owned clubs and the easiest way to trade in your current golf clubs. Visit Global Golf today and get ready to play. Located on 7320 ACC Boulevard, North Raleigh. Global Golf, home of the best deals in golf.
Are your monthly bills keeping you up at night, wondering how you got so behind? Hey, I'm Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. I get it. Life is expensive now. Insurance, groceries, cars. And then there's the credit card debt with those obscene interest rates. It's time to regain your financial freedom, and that's what we offer at Loan Pronto using the power of the equity in your home. We have multiple ways to get you the cash you need, and most clients close in 2 weeks or less, and many don't even require an appraisal. And listen, rates have been plummeting recently. We just locked a homeowner in with an APR in the low fives, saving her over $1,000 per month, and put $10,000 in her pocket. Life-changing money. Whether you're drowning in debt, have a nosebleed rate you got last year, need home improvements, or simply need cash in your pocket, we can help you accomplish this goal in record time. Call us today and get started with no hard credit pull, just a conversation. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. That's LoanPronto.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Now in Sanford, the Chatley Marine Boat Show and Sale featuring Yamaha boats. With giant indoor showrooms and an on-site test lake, Chatley's the choice for your next Yamaha boat. Find a huge selection of 19 through 25-foot runabouts and the popular Wake Series boats. With special financing, discounts up to $6,000, and immediate delivery available, now is the time to get your new Yamaha at the best price. Hurry to the Chatley Marine Boat Show and Sale in Sanford. ChatleyBoats.com.
Back up for Gostisbehere. Working around. Mora with a chance. Robida! He scores! Justin Robida! His first NHL goal! The Canes break the shutout. And for Robida, he'll keep that one forever.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Does that mean Robida is one of your winners there, Dennis?
Maybe.
Maybe. It's time for Winners and Losers here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly. Normally this is a Monday thing, but we had some breaking news during Winners and Losers time on Monday. So we're getting it done here on a Tuesday. Before we get to Winners and Losers, however, I do want to remind everybody that spring is here, and not just that. It's also time to think about home improvements. There's never really a bad time to think about home improvements. Join us while we broadcast live from the Aluminum Company's annual Spring Open House this Friday. That's April 11th. The Spring Open House takes place Friday and Saturday. We'll be broadcasting there for the show on Friday. It all takes place at 1335. All right. It all takes place at 1335 Hamlin Road in Durham. You can come out and enjoy some complimentary food, free, no-obligation estimates, giveaways, and more, all at the Aluminum Company on Hamlin Road in Durham. Now we'll do some sweet winners and losers.
This team
here it is.
Will never lose again.
It is more vibe than it is score, right? This is not just, this team won the game, so they're a winner. No. It's more vibe. It's aura, as the kids say. Winner. Triangle women's basketball teams.
Okay.
The final AP poll came out. 7th in the country, Duke. 9th in the country, NC State. 14th in the country, UNC. I did some quick Googling and some quick math. The triangle, this is just a fun fact for everybody. The triangle, by square mileage, is about 0.145% of the country. That means that 20% of the AP top 15 in women's basketball comes from 0.145% of the country in square mileage. Even without a team in the Final Four, it's still the Mecca. It's still the epicenter of college basketball. And the Triangle women's basketball teams proved that they're winners in my book. Loser. I'm intentionally not addressing this very often, but I do think it needs to be mentioned. The ref that called the over-the-back on Cooper flag at the end of the game.
That was bad.
It's not the reason they lost. I'm not putting it all on that. I'm not saying, the refs did it in. I don't think there was any nefarious intent. They didn't, intentionally mess over Duke. It's a bad call in a really big moment. Just play on. That's all it is. It's just play on. That's all I have to say. Bad call in a big moment. Watch the tape, get better. Dennis, you have some winners and losers you want to throw in here?
I do. Justin Robida.
I thought so.
2 games into his NHL career, 2 points.
Pretty good.
Had an assist in the first game, goal in the second one. He's on
Pretty good.
He's on a point streak that no one else has ever matched in NHL history. For a career, no one's ever scored a point in every single game of their NHL career.
There might be some. There might be like a
guy who played one game.
Yeah, like a Yaniv Peretz out there who has 100%.
No, he doesn't now.
Save, or he had a 100% save percentage, and he had faced one shot in 13 minutes on the ice. Yeah, he doesn't now. Good point. Loser. I'll start with loser. I'll go loser winner this time. Loser. ACC men's basketball. What an apt and appropriate ending that Duke second half was for the ACC. Bad year for the ACC. Bad year. Not enough teams in the NCAA tournament. The teams that made it to the NCAA tournament didn't do well enough once they got to the NCAA tournament. And then on top of that, Duke looks like they're going to maybe put a little lipstick on the pig for the ACC, right? Make it look good. Hey, at least we had the national champion. Then they fumbled down the stretch against Houston. I can't imagine what it felt like for Duke to watch that game last night. I don't even know if I would have. Because I think Duke's probably watching that game going, look at none of them can hit a shot.
It should have been me.
Yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Brutal. Winner? When's the NFL draft coming up here? The 24th?
16 days.
Tape watchers, baby.
Oh, there you go.
Those that know ball. Matt Miller tweeted this out. ESPN NFL draft analyst. Of his top 32 prospects, only 13 qualified for a RAS this year, which is an athletic score that is a combination of 40 time and like vertical jump, broad jump, shuttles. If you don't do the events, you can't have an RAS score. Lack of testing, players saying, I'm projected high enough, I'm not going to run, is going to make evaluating more difficult. And you're going to have to go back to the tape. You're going to have to go back to the tape. You're going to have to watch players play football and decide if they're good football players, not just enter in a bunch of random exercises into a calculator and decide if they're good enough. You got to know ball. Tape watchers out there, big winners, because agents are finally telling their players, hey, if you're not going to run a fast 40, don't run the 40. It's better to be mysterious. What do they say? Like, it's better to keep your mouth shut and have them wonder if you're dumb than open it and remove all doubt. It's better to have them wonder if you're slow than to go run a 40 and remove all doubt. You have to watch film and know if they play fast. How about that? Dennis, do you have any more before I hit my last one here?
I do not.
All right. So I've done a winner and a loser, a winner and a loser. This one is both a winner and a loser.
Oh, okay.
Julio Jones.
Oh, just retired.
He just announced his retirement. All-time great. Got the proper due. Everybody talking about how great he was. And obviously Panther fans, from all those battles with the Falcons, you know what he can do. I started looking it up, right? Because now after all the Ovechkin stuff where you go and you look up all the stats and that leads you to Gretzky and you look up all the stats and that leads you to Howe and then you look up all the stats. And I just went down to the wormhole of Julio. I fear he's going to be a guy that history won't remember as good as he actually was. He's top 10 in almost no receiving stats. He didn't catch as many touchdowns. He has as many touchdowns as Keenan Allen in their careers. He's not. It's one of those deals where when you watch the game, you're like, that dude is a monster. He's not even the receiving touchdowns Falcons record holder. And then he had those years with Tennessee and then Tampa and then Philly at the end. So it's not even like it's not like Calvin Johnson or something where it's like the last time we saw him, he was at his peak of his powers. Last time we saw him, he was like wide receiver 5 for Philly. I'm worried that, 15 years from the future, someone's going to be like, Julio is a Hall of Famer. And I'm going to be like, of course he is. And some brat high schooler that's a friend of my son is going to be going like, there's no way he's as good as, fill in the blank with some stat compiler. And I'm going to be going, yes, he is. What are you talking about? I'm going to be furious because he's kind of defined a wide receiver generation. There you go. Winners and losers. If you have some, you can always send them to us on our YouTube live stream, 99.9 The Fan. Comment there with your winners and losers. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Mainer Service Company. They do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical. We are coming up. It was funny. I was at a kid's birthday party over the weekend. Talking with the parents, I went, so I guess summer's here, right? The kids are running around. They're all sweaty, right? And the small talk with the parents is often about the weather. And immediately someone went, no, it's going to be 50 this week. High of 50 this week. And I went, yep, that's about how it goes, which means you're going to be going air conditioner, heater, open the windows because it's nice, heater, air conditioner, throwing them back and forth. And when that happens, you might put a little stress on your machine. If something starts operating not the way it's supposed to be operating, you want to call Mainer Service Company. And do it before it completely breaks, right? You hear a funny sound, just give them a call. Then come out. They can do maintenance. They can check up on it. If it's taking longer than it usually does to heat or cool, give them a call. Obviously, if something drastic happens, right? If it's 100 degrees outside and your air conditioning blows, then yeah, give them a call right then as well. But try to get there a little earlier, right? It'll save yourself and them a whole bunch of hassle. The number to call, 919-361-0993. Bookmark the number, 919-361-0993 for Mainer Service Company, or you can visit them online, MainerServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. We have the starting five coming up next, including a type of signing in the NFL that I just can't get enough of. Stick around.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Svechnikov, tick-tack, tied, and Carolina on the man advantage.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Save made, rebound! Game over! Sebastian Aho gives Carolina a 4-3 win in overtime.
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Make big mini plans this season with the North Carolina Courage, the Triangle's premier Division I professional women's soccer team. With the 2025 Courage mini plans, fans can personalize their soccer experience at First Horizon Stadium at WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary. Simply select 4 matches, save up to 30% off regular individual ticket prices. Enjoy preferred seating plus more perks. Visit nccourage.com to customize your mini plan today. Courage Country is the place to be.
Soundstation and Security, your automotive and audio experts. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels and tires, and so much more. Plus, did you know Soundstation and Security offers full service for your vehicle? Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. And with a variety of financing options, Soundstation and Security can help you get what you need today. 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Soundstation and Security. Visit myhotsound.com.
At Bailey's, love not only sparkles, but it also gives back. Hi, I'm Marcy Bailey. Yes, we have high-quality certified diamonds that fit your budget. But did you know that when you say I do with an engagement ring from Bailey's, a donation is made to the food bank to help feed a local family of 4 for an entire month? Celebrate your love with Bailey's, where every diamond helps create a brighter future. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, voted the best place to buy your diamond.
Need CPAP supplies fast? I'm Brandon Giggling, president of Parkway Sleep Health Centers, and we are the Triangle's top sleep provider, offering quick access to the equipment you need for better sleep. Get the right supplies right when you need them. With over 20 years of experience, our expert team is here to help you sleep better, sooner.
Discover why so many trust Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. Visit parkwaysleep.com now and start your journey to a healthier night's sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
Hello, Scott Forbes, head baseball coach, University of North Carolina. When it comes to choosing a dealership, I stick with Wilkinson, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. Growing up in Sanford, I've been fortunate to be lifelong friends with Will Wilkinson. My family and I have been buying and having our vehicles serviced at Wilkinson for many, many years. Great service, competitive prices, and most importantly, a place you can trust. Go where I go. Go see my longtime friend Will Wilkinson at Wilkinson, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC.
It's bow time.
Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's Bo time.
There's no time like Bo time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun-fried whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. We have a freeze warning in effect for much of the area tonight from 4 a.m. through 9 a.m. 34 the low in the Triangle. The colder rural locations could be as low as 27. And then sunny and cool for the day on Wednesday. We expect our high of 63.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell down 320 points to 37,645.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It's Tuesday. It's the first day without college basketball. And it's time for the starting 5. And as always, we start with number 5.
2, 3, 4, 5. Bryce under center. Chuba's the deep back. Snap. Give it to Chuba. Chuba inside the 10. 5. Slides into the end zone. Touchdown Panthers. He spikes the ball, and Carolina's got a lead.
The Panthers have made a signing that I can't get enough of. Because there's the ultimate what if, right? We've all said it. You look at some big man on the basketball court and go, now why can't they just throw a jump ball to him in the end zone, in the red zone, and who's going to stop that? What 6'2" corner out there is going to stop a 6'9" guy jumping up and catching a red zone pass? Well, Panthers just signed Colin Granger, a former Coastal Carolina power forward who is listed at 6'9", 225 pounds as a basketball player. He signed a contract to play tight end with the Panthers. First of all, awesome for Granger. He gets to live out the ultimate dream of, what if I chose a different sport? For some reason, tight ends, basketball players, right? The Tony Gonzalez's, the Antonio Gates, the Mo Alley Cox, the Jimmy Graham,
North Carolina's own.
There's, true. There's a whole bunch of really, really good versions of it. 6'9" is a little bit bigger than you usually see, right? You're usually looking for like the 6'5", 6'6", small forwards that play bigger than their size on the basketball court. 6'9" is kind of getting to the point of the what if I was describing, where you're just like, I mean, if he can win a jump ball, how do you stop it? Now, when he's extending up to, get the rebound, so to speak, he's going to get jabbed in the stomach with somebody's shoulder pad. But as long as he can hold on, I'm intrigued. It's very, and you know what else it is? It's a very high school move. I played football and basketball in high school. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to talk like the most athletic kids from my basketball team into going out for the football. Usually fairly quickly, once you get them on a football field, you go, oh, you're afraid of contact. Right. That's why you play basketball and not football. But if he's not afraid of contact, the skill set, you can make it work, as you've seen. As we've seen. I don't know. It's a lottery ticket. Likely this will be the last time we talk about Colin Granger as a member of the Panthers, but maybe not. Maybe we'll be talking about him going into the Ring of Honor 15 years from now.
Yay. You know what? In that case, awesome.
And if not, no harm, no foul. I'm sure it's not a lucrative contract by NFL standards. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
You like that? You like that?
Oh, the continuing decision-making of the court system that has to impact college sports. Will teams be able to pay players? There are so many hearings. Even the news that came out, what was it, yesterday? Was it yesterday that the news broke? The news was no more news, right? It's, yes, I recommend that as long as the parties agree to, that maybe they should, possibly will, as long as this, like the judges are involved and they're just kind of kicking it around.
So to give a little backstory, it was the house settlement between the NCAA and the schools, obviously, that make up the NCAA, and former players that sued the NCAA over name, image, and likeness and the fact that they were restricted on what they could earn and what they could do. So this is a settlement of that court case, and as a result, there's the potential of revenue sharing between the colleges and the actual players that play for them currently and in the future. So this is just a judge overseeing and making a decision regarding that settlement and that agreement. And again, the judge has to approve of it in order for all this stuff to potentially take place starting this fall. So that's what yesterday was for. It was just the next step in the approval of that settlement.
I'll read the first 2 paragraphs from the ESPN article on it because I think it's hilarious. A multi-billion-dollar legal settlement with the potential to reshape the business of college sports inched closer to its fast-approaching finish line during a federal court hearing Monday. Judge Claudia Wilkin declined to provide final approval of a deal between the NCAA and plaintiff attorneys representing past, present, and future Division I athletes, but she directed lawyers to address a short list of her remaining concerns within 1 week. The reason why I say it's funny is fast approaching? Fast is relative on this one.
I mean, it's this fall.
The resolution. I don't do it. Like what? I was paying attention to the reporters that were tweeting out updates. There were multiple references to a 10-year-old playing kickball, talking about how it has to have the best interest of future athletes out there. I'm going we're talking about 10-year-old kickball players out there. And I know the courts and lawyers, right, billable hours, they want to cover everything possible. Let the players get paid. Start there. I was thinking about this while it happened, right? Because everybody keeps saying, ooh, this is moving at a lightning pace. Think about this next time we have a review on who the ball went out of bounds on, and they take 45 seconds rather than 30 seconds. Things can always be slower. But the NCAA, just to kind of structure of it, has agreed to pay about $2.8 billion in damages to past and current athletes to settle 3 different antitrust lawsuits. And then obviously moving forward, in order to not have to do this again in the future where you got to kick a whole bunch of billions of dollars to former athletes, there will be a structure in place for paying current athletes, which is that revenue share we've been talking about. The expected number is a little north of $20 million per school that they can pay to their players in revenue share. A lot of money. That was number 4. Let's get to number 3.
Tar Heels the other way. Trimble in the left corner offensively. Gets into the paint, kicks it in the corner to Withers. Extra pass to an open Ian Jackson. Heels need it, and they get it for 3.
So, Ian Jackson, yesterday during the show, news broke that he is putting his name into the transfer portal. Now, as we learned last year with Seth Trimble, putting your name in the portal doesn't necessarily mean you won't play for the same team you played for last year. It just means you're exploring your options. I would not expect Ian Jackson back. I think UNC would be pleasantly surprised if he does come back, but I wouldn't expect it if I were UNC. With all of that said, there are a few pieces of good news here. The good news is you can replace him. The good news is if you actually do have more NIL money committed and all of the talk that was spoken when the new structure was put in place with the new GM and everything else, then an empty roster spot is a gift to a coach, right? An empty scholarship is a gift to a coach because if you handle it right, you can go get exactly what you're looking for. Whatever you hoped the best version of Ian Jackson was going to be, that's out there somewhere. You just got to go find it. In other news, Seth Trimble announced he is coming back, so you do not have to replace him. He's a perimeter player that will be back in Chapel Hill for his 4th year with the Tar Heels. Cannon Catchings, BYU transfer, averaged 7 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist last year. According to Inside Carolina, has scheduled a visit to come to UNC to visit during the recruiting process. And Pete Nakos of On3. I need to learn how to pronounce his name. He does a lot of good reporting on Nakos on Twitter. He does got a good transfer portal reporting. Has logged a prediction for North Carolina to land Cannon Catchings from BYU. So that's kind of like a prediction from an insider on where a player will end up. So, there's my favorite phrase about the transfer portal is the portal giveth and taketh away, right? If players are leaving, that means you can bring players in, and the transfer portal is an exciting place. Xavier Lee is another name I've seen mentioned with UNC quite a bit. Princeton point guard. Guy filled up the stats in the Ivy League. In the transfer portal, many think he's ready for an introduction to power conference basketball. UNC might be a place for that. Henry Vasar already committed out of the transfer portal, 7-footer from Arizona. If you pair him with some of the incoming freshmen, front court's looking strong for UNC. I guess the nicest thing we can say about the perimeter is there's a lot of potential there. Seth Trimble, and a lot of potential there. Maybe Drake Powell, if you consider him a perimeter player, but we're still waiting on his announcement that he is coming back, which is ridiculous. Do you know what's... I'm a rant for a second here. I move that we assume... Is this like a colonial set of congressmen or something? I move that from this point forward, ne'er shall we assume somebody is leaving in the transfer portal if they have not entered their name in the transfer portal, and we have no reason to believe that they would like to enter the transfer portal. Seth Trimble should not have to make an announcement, hear ye, I am going to be at UNC next year. He's been at UNC for the last 3 years. And he didn't enter the portal. Kevin Riley. I played football at University of Delaware, big Blue Hen fan. Kevin Riley was the 3rd leading scorer at Delaware. Okay? Now, this is obviously, I'm very much a fan of Delaware. I think it is major college sports. It's all of that. Delaware men's basketball put out a statement today from their 3rd leading scorer, Kevin Riley. Do you know what it says? It's a whole graphic. I'm back. I like Kevin Riley. He's a lights-out shooter. Good player. The 3rd leading scorer from a mid-major team that didn't finish in the top 8 in their mid-major conference shouldn't have to make an announcement that he's going back to the school that he's played at for the last 3 years. Ian Jackson is going in the portal. If you're going in the portal, make the announcement. Everyone else, I'm assuming you're staying. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
5 seconds to Sharp. Top of the key. Lost the dribble. He's got to pick it up. It's scooped up by Condon. Condon secures it. And Florida found a way. From 12 down to the school's 3rd national championship in men's basketball.
Florida won the national championship last year. This year, I don't know why I said last year. Last night would be the word to use there. Houston. You watched. We were joking earlier today. whatever Duke caught in the second half, it's contagious because Houston picked it up and suffered the symptoms in the national championship game. Houston was up double digits in the second half on Florida. And they got there by being careful with the basketball, right? They got there by being the more physical team. They got there by making the most of their offensive possessions. They got there by doing the Houston thing, right? We spent a lot of time talking about what the Houston thing is when they were getting ready to play Duke. They did it, and they were up double digits. And then for whatever reason, probably because it's the national championship, high stakes, and you start acting out of character, all of a sudden they were dribbling it off their knee. They were fouling at bad times. They were getting pushed around by Florida when Houston's always been the pusher, never the pushy. And they end up losing. And I'm sure, just like Duke has, Houston has some looking backs going, what? That's not even us. We never do that. Well, you did. Florida found a way, and they won the game. Looking at I brought up their roster here. Just talking about how important the transfer portal is now. Walter Clayton. Iona. It's where he started. Micah Handlogden from Lake Norman, North Carolina. Played 9 minutes, started his career at Marshall. Sam Alexis started his career at Chattanooga. Will Richards started his career at Belmont. Ruben Chinyelu started his career at Washington State. He was the big guy in the middle, picked up the technical when he slammed the ball down too hard. There's a lot of transfers on these teams. But guess what? There's also a decent amount of guys that started at Florida, like Alex Condon. Oh, Elijah Martin, by the way, FAU. Denzel Aberdeen started at Florida, played his whole career there. Thomas Hall, same thing. I'm starting to. What are we now in, like 5 years of the transfer portal? I think 2021 was the first year that it was.
Yes,
like,
I think
truly
it might be fourth year of it.
Obviously, when something's brand new, you don't know how to use it best. I think we're starting to see the teams that handle it the best. And it's a mixture, almost darn near 50-50 of minutes. Homegrown and transfer portals filling in the gaps. I don't think it's great to go full Purdue and or full Dabo Sweeney and not use the portal at all, because then you're just giving back an extra advantage to everybody else. But I also don't think it's good to go and do what Louisville did this year and just go full everybody's a transfer. Obviously, it's different when a new coach comes in. You might have to, for a year or two, go super heavy transfer. But I think the ideal is like 50-50, right? You do the best you can out of high school, and then you supplement the areas that you've messed up, that you didn't project correctly in the transfer portal to make a complete team. And you end up with a team like Florida, hopefully, that can win a national championship. Or a team like Houston, which can win a national championship. Or a team like Duke, which can win a national championship. Or a team like Auburn, right? Because if you make the Final Four, you're good enough. It just comes down to who stays calm and who executes. Credit to Florida, that was them. First school with 3 men's basketball and 3 football national championships. I expect them to talk about that often.
All in the last 30 years.
All in the last 30 years. I'm not going to say they were the most likable. Spurrier can rub some people the wrong way. Urban Meyer, yeah. Todd Golden had some stuff. I like Billy Donovan. I'm going to lock into those 2 championships. I like Billy Donovan. He's going to the Hall of Fame, by the way. Really good Florida run here. That's number 2. Let's hit number 1.
Here comes Raymond on a break, and Kochetkov yet. A stout save there. He stayed with Raymond the whole way.
It's just a huge save on top of the stylish nature to it.
Canes play tonight against Buffalo on the road. They did swing by back home in between their away games here, which allowed them to pick up Svetch and Jordan Stahl. So they are expected to be in the lineup today, which should make, the way Rod describes it here, we'll play the audio for you, should make their lineups feel a bit more normal. Here's Rod Brindamore and his talks on the line.
Kind of try to get back to a little bit more normalcy, how we want to look, and
run the group, and play the right way. I mean, I haven't disliked their games the last couple of games, but we got to be better. Obviously, giving up a little too much, and you were looking for that consistency here. Obviously, that we've kind of strived for all year.
I'm obviously excited. Guys are getting back. They're like line. I talked about this earlier. You got to be ready to switch it up, right? Like Martinook can't only play with Stahl, so occasionally getting a little change up it helps. And I'm not saying that in the postseason you want to split them up, but you might have to, right? Injuries, whatever. It might occur where you gotta flip some things around, and you don't want that to be completely foreign. So I'm not going to say I'm glad that some guys got hurt down the stretch, but if they're getting healthy and getting back in the right time, you never know what tiny bit of chemistry is going to prove the difference.
By the way, there is something to play for tonight. Canes can actually clinch home ice in the first round of the playoffs this evening.
Which is important because they are significantly better at home than they are on the road.
If they beat Buffalo in any way, shape, or form, so that's regulation, overtime, shootout, doesn't matter. As long as they get 2 points tonight and the New Jersey Levels lose in any way, shape, or form.
Did you just call them the New Jersey Levels, or did I mishear that?
The Devils.
Okay.
New Jersey Devils.
There's levels to this.
There are levels to this. The Devils can be one level lower than the Canes in the standings if they lose tonight in any way, shape, or form to the Boston Bruins. So, again, the Devils lose regulation, overtime, shootout. Doesn't matter. If they lose tonight and the Canes win in some way, shape, or form, they clinch the home ice advantage, the Canes do. Or if the Canes just get 1 point tonight and the Devils lose in regulation to Boston, that's another way they can clinch home ice in the first round tonight. So, again, something to play for still for Carolina.
Home ice would be very nice. And
wonderful.
No intended rhyme.
I think you did.
They're, 38-1, 30-8-1 at home this year?
Yeah.
So play as many games as you can at the Lenovo Center.
Yes.
Do that. Not just fun for your fans. It's also fun for winning purposes. With that being said, also get healthy, right? They're in a really weird spot. And Dennis, we'll talk about this closer to the end of the show because you brought it to my attention. Rod, during his media availability, Rod Brindamore, did kind of talk about the human, internal war with working so hard to clinch the playoffs early and then knowing that you've clinched the playoffs and even your subconscious kind of going cool, we got the postseason, and the natural tendency is to, be aware that you can take your foot off the gas a little bit. You can coast, you can save, and threading the needle between making sure you don't coast too much, but also making sure you don't head into the postseason on empty, right? You got to thread that needle. And that's something that's difficult in all sports, right? I mean, this isn't quite that because they are still playing for seeding and home ice and all that. But, the last game of the NFL season, do you sit your starters if you've clinched, or do you play them rust versus rest and everything else? We have the debates every single year, and very smart people disagree. So, what's more important? Do you rush guys back from injury because you want to be peaking and playing great, or do you give them all the time in the world and understand, well, we might lose a handful of the games, maybe more often going into the it's an up and down thing. And it's human nature, right, as Rod kind of acknowledged there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You know what else is human nature to worry about? Mortgage rates, right? Because I don't know what's the red car theory, right? You never see red cars when you're driving around until you buy a red car. And then when you're driving home, they're on at every stoplight. You're like, why is everyone driving red cars? The same is kind of true for interest rates. Right? Say you've been renting for years. The rates go up and down, and you're not even thinking about it. Soon as you lock in a mortgage rate, what happens? Rates go down, or they tumble by 2 points, and you just spent all on costs and fees, and now you're bummed out about it. Whoa. Not with Miller Lending. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Miller Lending offers something called a no closing cost loan, right? So, you've been renting for years. You finally saved up the money. You got the down payment. You locked in the mortgage, and now every day you're checking mortgage rates. Right? Because it's just like, you're looking for red cars. You can't help it. You're just checking. Rates dropped. Oh, no. Why did we do that? Why? We're going to, well, guess what? No closing cost loans. Go back to Miller Lending, refinance, get the lower monthly payment, and don't take any cash out of your pocket. Imagine you're like, everyone has a red car, and you can just snap your fingers, and now you're driving in a black car or a blue car. That's kind of what this is. It gives you the flexibility to adapt to what information comes about as the market, and markets are volatile. We've definitely learned that recently. As markets go up and down, you will be ready to take advantage of every different thing you can possibly take advantage of with Miller Lending. The number to call is 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. What do we need? Oh, we need numbers game contestants. You're darn right we do. The prize for today is the opportunity to celebrate Easter weekend, that is, at America's favorite car show. We have a pair of tickets to the Good Guys 10th Griots Garage at the NC State Fairgrounds coming up April 18th and 19th, where you can check out over 1,500 of the Southeast's coolest hot rods, muscle cars, trick trucks, and more. But to get the tickets, you have to win the numbers game. To win the numbers game, you have to call in right now. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 for your chance to play the numbers game. We need 2 contestants. Numbers game next.
Tonight's forecast calls for Hurricanes hockey.
Svechnikov, tick-tack, tied in Carolina on the man advantage.
Storm Watch with Adam Gold at 6:30. Puck drop at 7.
Save made, rebound! Game over! Sebastian Aho gives Carolina a 4-3 win in overtime!
On your exclusive home for the Carolina Hurricanes, 99.9 The Fan.
Doesn't the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club give the best massages?
I've never felt so relaxed.
Thanks to this month's scratch-offs, this is our life now.
It's like winning again and again and again.
This month's scratch-offs pack over $150 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds for winning range from 1 to 3.8 to 9.88. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What are you going to take the RV to the lake or clean out your closet? RV wins! Putting the dishes away or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Cleaning the fridge or taking a trip to the beach? RV wins!
You might want to clean the fridge real quick because, mold.
We clean out the fridge, then take the RV out.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Are you suffering from chronic joint pain or just struggling with daily activities because of discomfort in your knees, back, or other parts of your body? Well, I've got great news. It's called DaVita Med Spa and Wellness, a solution that can help you get back to feeling like yourself again without the risks of invasive surgery or long-term prescription drug use. DaVita Med Spa and Wellness is a regenerative medicine clinic. Their innovative treatment options address the root cause of your pain to promote healing and prevent re-injury for long-lasting pain relief. If you have arthritis, joint pain, sports injuries, or other conditions, their highly trained medical providers will develop a cutting-edge treatment plan tailored just for you with little to no downtime. DaVita Med Spa and Wellness can get you back to doing the things you love. Call DaVita Med Spa and Wellness today, spelled DVIDA. Call 984-333-1313, 984-333-1313, 984-333-1313.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I am in studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. Your open house coming up. What can we expect? Give me all the bells and whistles.
This Friday and Saturday, 8 to 5 on Friday and 8 to 4 on Saturday, we're going to be here. All of our manufacturers' reps are going to be here. We're going to have food trucks. You can come out for breakfast if you're an early riser, but if you want to come for lunch, we'll have lunch from like 11 to 3.
Nice.
And we're giving away thousands of dollars of prizes. This year, we've got a special prize of 2,000 square feet of James Hardy siding, which is enormous. So if you're in the market for siding, please come out and see us. And you'll be there, right?
I will be there. I don't think I am eligible for the siding, but can I get something?
You absolutely can. I'll
What
make you
can I
ice
get?
cream personally.
Ice cream?
Ice cream. Personally.
Very nice.
Yeah.
You guys have everything. You have windows, doors, awnings, railings, gutter helmets. I mean, it's tremendous. You guys do an amazing job. The open house Friday and Saturday, 8 to 5, and then 8 to 4 on Saturday. They'll feed you to the gills. 800-672-4348, aluminumcompany.com.
It is I, Juan Carlos Santiago del Santiago, the coolest man in the world. Yes, I am back in Raleigh. Do I go downtown with so many places to party? No, I go to the Shocky's place. The good food, the fine drinks, the coldest of beers, and of course, the many, many beautiful people. I always hang at the Shocky's place, the coolest bar in the world, because, well, it was built for me. Juan Carlos Santiago del Santiago, the coolest man in the world. The Shocky's place, 8800 de Raleigh Road by the Shelley Station.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have Frank and Clayton and Jaden and Carrie on the line. They will be competing to win tickets to celebrate Easter weekend at America's favorite car show. The Good Guys 10th Griot's Garage at the NC State Fairgrounds, April 18th and 19th, where you can check out over 1,500 of the Southeast's coolest hot rods, muscle cars, trick trucks, and more. But in order for them to earn the tickets, they have to win the numbers game. And as always, we ask a question. Dennis will pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first. What question do we ask today? How about this? The Canes are playing Buffalo tonight. They're in Buffalo. Frank and Clayton, are you there?
I am here.
What is the perfect chicken wing? What's the sauce? What's the preparation? Is it drums or flats? Give us the description of the perfect chicken wing.
Parmesan garlic, okay. Drums and extra crispy.
All right. Do we need to ask about any dipping sauces or anything? Anything you need to know?
Nope. Oh, yeah, definitely blue cheese.
All right. There we go. Frank and Clayton, your answer is locked in. We go to Jaden and Carrie. Jaden, in honor of the Canes playing in Buffalo Wings, described the perfect chicken wing, preparation, sauce, the whole 9 yards.
Good work on that one.
I don't really eat chicken wings, but I'd probably say I like buffalo sauce a lot, so just regular chicken wings dipped in buffalo is pretty good.
All right. And tell whoever wished you luck on that one, thank you for the luck. I heard it in the background. Dennis, those are the two answers. We have I believe there was a garlic parmesan, and there was kind of a traditional buffalo sauce. What are you looking at?
Garlic parmesan is my favorite. So that was pretty much a lock there from Frank. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Garlic parmesan wings is 1A for me.
Number one on the big board.
Yes, absolutely. I prefer flats. That's generally my go-to, but obviously I'll eat either. But garlic parm, 100%.
So, Jaden, go ahead and stay on the line. You will have your chance. You just have to wait a little bit. Frank and Clayton, you are up first. Are you ready to pick a category?
I am.
All right. We have NFL Jasons, all players with the first name Jason. NFL players that tossed a touchdown but are not active quarterbacks or were not active quarterbacks when they threw it. NBA, most NBA games without being in the playoffs. So, active players that have played in the most career games without playing in the playoffs. On the top, what are we looking at, like 100 players in that list? Or NHL Hurricanes only?
I'll go with the Canes.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. I will say the team in this category, even though it is we know it in this one, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the others. There'll be 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
All set.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Dmitry Orlov, Carolina Hurricanes.
7.
Correct. Sean Walker, Carolina Hurricanes.
26.
Correct. Riley Nash, Carolina Hurricanes.
21.
Incorrect. Stephen Yell, Carolina Hurricanes.
7.
Incorrect. Riley Nash, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Steve Chasen, Carolina Hurricanes.
6.
Incorrect. Stephen Yell, Carolina Hurricanes.
71.
Incorrect. Riley Nash, Carolina Hurricanes.
23.
Incorrect. Steve Chasen, Carolina Hurricanes.
Oh, gosh.
Can you say how you guessed 21 and 23 for me one time? Just try to mimic it exactly. I go Riley Nash. You say
21.
Yeah, except you went 21. The whole time you were dragging it out, I was going, just stop.
20.
There you go. Yell was 18. Chasen was number 3. You did get 2, though. You got the 2 active guys, Orlov and Walker, 7 and 26. We'll see if it holds up. Go ahead and stay on the line.
Alrighty.
Jaden and Carrie, are you ready to pick your category?
Yes.
All right, the categories are NFL Jasons, all players with the first name Jason. NFL players that threw a touchdown but were not listed as quarterbacks when they did so, or NBA players who are amongst the top 100 active players in games played without reaching the postseason.
I'm going to do NFL players who've thrown a touchdown while not being a quarterback.
All right, I'll give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock, 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No.
All right, you need 3 for the win, and your time will start when you hear the horn. DeAndre Swift, Chicago Bears.
2.
Incorrect. Jacoby Myers, Las Vegas Raiders.
11.
Incorrect. DeAndre Swift, Chicago Bears.
4.
Correct. Justin Tucker, Baltimore Ravens.
9.
Correct. Joe Mixon, Houston Texans.
26.
Incorrect. Jacoby Myers, Las Vegas Raiders.
18.
Incorrect. Joe Mixon, Houston Texans.
28.
Correct. Kendrick Bourne, New England Patriots.
Pass.
Jacoby Myers, Las Vegas Raiders.
12.
You're pretty close. What did they end up with? 3. So that's enough for the win. Congratulations. You are the winner.
Thank you so much.
Swift was 4. Myers, we were looking for 16. NC State guy out there with the Raiders. Sneaky good fantasy player. 16 was the number we were looking for there. You got Tucker with 9. Joe Mixon, 28. And Kendrick Bourne with the Patriots wears number 84. Those were the answers, but you did plenty. You got enough, so you earned the tickets. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, Jaden, stay on the line, and Dennis will grab the info he needs to make sure you get to see all of those sweet hot rods and muscle cars and everything else at the Good Guys 10th Griot's Garage at the NC State Fairgrounds coming up April 18th.
What's your go-to wing order?
I'm a hot wings. Hot wings. I am flats over drums, but I like an assortment. And the thing that most people disagree with, or not most, but if there's something that people get upset about, because I'm pretty basic order there, I do go ranch over blue cheese. I'm a ranch over blue cheese guy, and I do like to have a good assortment of carrots and celery there. I'm also not someone that handles, like, my body doesn't handle heat well. I sweat a lot, my nose runs, but I enjoy it. So if we go out to get wings, just know you're getting a show. I'm going to look ridiculous. I would not do well on that Hot One show, but I do enjoy it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. By the way, everybody, now that spring is here, there's never a bad time to think about home improvements. Spring, any other time, but definitely spring. So join us this show when we broadcast live from the Aluminum Company's annual spring open house, gutters, siding, the works will be on display this Friday, April 11th at the Aluminum Company. Friday and Saturdays, the open house will be there Friday, broadcasting live. The location is 1335 Hamlin Road in Durham. That's 1335 Hamlin Road in Durham. So stop by, enjoy some complimentary food. They always hook it up. And free, no obligation estimates. They hook that up as well. Giveaways and much, much more. It's all happening at the Aluminum Company out there on Hamlin Road in Durham. Friday, we'll be broadcasting live, and we're looking forward to doing so. All right. When we get to the numbers game, I always want to make sure there's no anthropological observations that I made. I think both contestants did a good job today. So, when did I turn into a numbers game coach? That's not what I need to be doing. But I do kind of, watch the tape and give advice immediately after. Well, you tried hard. You did what you were supposed to do. You followed it. They just got you better. You got to tip your cap. That's kind of the way it goes sometimes. It's the luck of the draw, right? You didn't get the ones that were supposed to come your way. Pick a better category next time. we'll do the numbers game again tomorrow with more of the Good Guys 10th Griot's Garage tickets for you. So tune in tomorrow and the rest of the week, as always, for those opportunities. Before we move on, and we do want to get to some more Canes talk because they're playing tonight at Buffalo.
Yeah, they are.
Before we do that, Dennis has something he'd like to tell you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Interest rates, they've dropped. They've plummeted. It's time to give Loan Pronto a call. If you're looking to get cash out of your home equity, refinance out of a high rate, or do a home improvement project, Loan Pronto can make it happen. In just a matter of days, take advantage of this opportunity and get tens or even hundreds of thousands out of your home equity. Pay off all your credit cards. Pay off your car loans. The average homeowner cuts their monthly bills by $1,000. Get more info at loanpronto.com. Inflation and higher costs, they put a lot of people in a stressful financial situation. But if you own a home, there's a way out. Loan Pronto has multiple options that can help you get the financial freedom that you deserve. Most homeowners get their cash in less than 2 weeks, and most don't even need an appraisal. Do the smart thing. Stop paying insane rates on those credit cards. Wipe them all out. Get a lower mortgage rate. Get some money for that home improvement project. It all starts by getting in contact with the experts at this, and that's Loan Pronto. Visit loanpronto.com or call 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Will be back talking Canes, Buffalo, next.
Is your heating and air system ready for the changing season? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
It's a big week in golf. Global Golf has everything you need to get ready for your next round. Browse all the top brands like Callaway, TaylorMade, Mizuno, Ping, and Titleist, plus expert help from our team of PGA Golf professionals for lessons and fittings. Global Golf has you covered with Carolina's largest selection of pre-owned clubs and the easiest way to trade in your current golf clubs. Visit Global Golf today and get ready to play. Located on 7320 ACC Boulevard, North Raleigh. Global Golf, home of the best deals in golf.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
At Atlantic Spas and Billiards, we have been setting the standard in wellness and leisure since 1987. We offer family-sized and saltwater hot tubs for as low as $79.95 and try out our free-flow plug-and-play spas starting at $42.95. Explore endless pool swim spas, Finleo saunas, hot tubs, cold plunges, indoor and outdoor game tables, grills, and more. Atlantic Spas and Billiards is family-owned with local service. We service what we sell. Come by our store on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh today and experience wellness, relaxation, and fun.
Disturbed. Live. Oh. The 25th anniversary of the 5-time platinum album, The Sickness. 2 sets, 1 show, The Sickness in its entirety, and greatest hits with special guests, Daughtry, and nothing more. April 14th, Lenovo Center, Raleigh. Tickets are on sale now at livenation.com. Disturbed. Live.
Progressive understands that bond between you and your boat. But imagine if something happened to it. Without the boat, you're just Tina with too much boat knowledge. Sure, it's helpful on the water, but with no boat, you're someone who talks way too much about knots, and no one cares what a jib is anyway. Boat Tina could get away with it because she has a boat. So make sure your boat is insured. Get Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer, and then go back to being you. Tina, who owns a boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Spare looking. Jarvis, he scores! Oh, mercy! Seth Jarvis hammering that one through Thompson, and Carolina up 3-0. Another power play goal.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. How nice would the spring open house takes place Friday and Saturday at 1335 Hamlin Road in Durham. So stop by, say hi if you can't be there when we're there. There's food, there's giveaways, there's free, no obligation estimates going on all day Friday and Saturday out there on Hamlin Road at the Aluminum Company. So stop by and let them know you heard about it right here on 99.9 The Fan when you're out there. The Canes play Buffalo tonight. It is a hockey night in Carolina. 7 o'clock puck drop, which means 6:30 Storm Watch with Adam Gold. 6 games left. 2 on the road, 2 at home, 2 on the road. You get a real smorgasbord of, how about that word? A real potpourri of opponents. You're going to get a bunch of different styles. You're going to get a bunch of different levels of opponents. And there is a point. Dennis, tell me if they're here yet, or tell me if you even believe this exists. There is a point once you clinch, and they have, they're in the postseason, where it does kind of go from regular season to almost preseason for the playoffs, right? Where it's about getting ready, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's more like up until this point, you're winning games, right? You're laying it all on line. There is a point where it's about whatever you need to do to be at as close to maximum performance as you can once the postseason begins. We see it. I mean, last year, gosh, it's such a bummer to think about because it was the game Jesper Foss got hurt. But you pull a lot of your contributors for the final game if there's nothing on the line. So obviously your motivations change at some point in the regular season. 6 games left. I'm not saying it's happened, but you start to see the end of the tunnel, and you want to make sure you're ready, right? William Carrier, he should be back soon-ish, hopefully, fingers crossed. But
I guess hopefully maybe this weekend for the home games.
That would be lovely. That would mean 4 games to get him back, knock whatever rust is there, and I don't know, at least let him skate around with Taylor Hall and Stankoven and Jankowski, guys that weren't around last time he was out there on the ice. Svech and Stahl obviously have so much more familiarity with the guys, but they're expected to be back in the lineup today. I'm cautiously optimistic about what the Canes are going to bring to the table this postseason. But when you look at their last 2 games, right, they've been outscored 10-4 and haven't exactly faced a murderer's row, although Detroit desperate due to their playoff position. Boston, not so much. I'm cautiously optimistic for the reasons of they were playing really well up until those 2 games.
And we talked about it. There is the human element to all this, for the fact that the Thursday game last week against Washington there was a lot of energy and emotion that went into that game because there's so much extracurriculars. Canes clinched the playoff spot. They kind of know where they're standing. There is a natural letdown and come down that comes from that. And I think that's what we experienced on Friday and Saturday.
Here's an example of how it's pure human nature. And I promise you, I'm only doing this because my son who's 4, he asks to do it. I'm not like one of those crazy sports parents. He keeps a record of how many times he can dribble a basketball. We had a little basketball on 1, 2, 3. It is unbelievable how much he could, like, on his ability, I'm watching him, he could dribble forever, infinity times, right? He can see the ball. He has the hand-eye coordination. He could dribble it forever. But he makes a mistake almost always as soon as he breaks his record, right? If the record is 150, at like 154, he dribbles it off his foot. And it's not because he can't keep dribbling. It's because this one was a success, right? I've already the safety net is there. Even if I dribble it off my foot, I've already broken the record, right? We're already celebrating. We're high-fiving. We're having a good time. It's just human nature once you kind of reach a checkpoint to be okay. I'd imagine, if you're a trapeze artist and you take away the safety net, you fall a lot less than when there's a safety net underneath you just because the safety net is there, right? So the Canes have a safety net right now, right? You lose games, the punishment isn't as rough as if you lost a bunch of games earlier this year, right? You lose a bunch of games earlier this year, well, now you got to scratch and claw and get back in the standings and get back to the postseason. Lose a bunch of games now, all right, you might have to go on the road for the first two. Like, it's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world.
Paul Eihander, who hosts Next Up from 9 to 10 right here on The Fan, he and I were actually discussing earlier today about could they possibly fall a third of the Metropolitan Division behind the New Jersey Devils. And New Jersey's 7 points back. New Jersey has 5 games left. Carolina has 6. They have a game in hand. So essentially, Carolina would have to lose out, and New Jersey would have to win 4 of their final 5 games in order to jump Carolina. I don't see that happening.
It's one of those, like, mathematically it's possible.
It's possible, but let's be realistic here.
It's severely, severely unlikely. So home ice for the first round is
wonderful.
And it's not locked up, but everything we just said is true. So it's severely, severely unlikely that anything else happens. Again, it's just another safety net. It's like, hey, even if we play pretty darn bad, we're still going to have home ice in the first round. It's hard to fight to the end. You'd like your culture to fight for every game and everything. And trust me, they have a strong enough culture that nobody's worried about what's going on in the Canes locker room. So it's more about, like, showing that things that have been a problem aren't. If Pyotr Kochetkov gives up 1 goal and plays really, really well and they lose 1-0, part of me is like, that's still, at least Pyotr got back going.
Yeah.
Like, that's important. You'd be really upset with the forwards and the goal scorers, but, for the most part, they've been okay. So it's if you make me choose, I'd like the goalies to get rolling.
We should explore this maybe tomorrow because we only have like 90 seconds left, not even left here.
Let's start a whole new thought process.
But real quick, Paul and Graham discussed it this morning. Name one player you want to see hot going into the playoffs.
Are goalies allowed?
Yeah, absolutely.
Freddie.
Okay.
Because I assume he'll get the first crack at it, and a hot goalie in the postseason is wildly important.
I initially said Svetch because I'm like, if he gets going, I think everyone else is going to feed off that. But then I was like, maybe Freddie. If
you exclude goalies, Svetch would be near the top. But
yeah,
that's, again, 90 seconds. That's rapid fire reaction without, me. I need to go look at spreadsheets before I make these kind of decisions.
Yeah, I know. I'll put you on the spot.
I need to my calculator. I need notes. I need to look at histories. So maybe we'll do that tomorrow with a little bit more prep. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, coming to a close. Overdrive up next, where we look a little bit at Duke. What's their roster look like next year? They're this season, it's in the past, way in the past. What's their basketball roster look like next year? That's going to lead things off. Enjoy that. Please subscribe to our YouTube. Enjoy the hockey night in Carolina. Stormwatch with Adam Gold at 6:30. See you tomorrow, everybody.
Golf's first major will be found on 99.9 The Fan. Listen all week long as we cover golf's lasting tradition, the Masters. Find out if Scotty Scheffler can run it back at Augusta or if a new champion emerges. Depend on us for constant leaderboard updates and every big moment through the presentation of the Champion's Jacket. Coverage of the Masters on 99.9 The Fan is teed up by Treyburn Country Club, the Triangle's Golf Escape.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. It's hockey season, baby. I live and work on both coasts, and here's the deal. There's nothing like Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and a great place to watch all the big games. Visit all 5 Triangle locations for great specials, including half-price pizzas Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6, and $6 Jamesons on Sunday. Dine in, carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Now in Sanford, the Chatley Marine Boat Show and Sale featuring Yamaha Wave Runners with giant indoor showrooms and an on-site test lake. Chatley's the choice for your next Yamaha Wave Runner. Find a large selection of Yamaha VX, FX, GP, and Wave Blaster models. With special financing, huge discounts, and immediate delivery available, now is the time to get your new Yamaha Wave Runner at the